All right.
Button. Who's got the button? No, I'm just talking.
Isn't that from that game where they like? Oh, it was like a book or something where you like somebody got slipped a hit of acid, but they didn't know. It was like button. Who's got the button?
It was a kid's game when I was a kid.
Oh, I think my dad called it like surprise burgers or something like that. He used to play when he was a kid. Like kid, but like like in his early 20s. Like
who's got the acid?
Everybody gets a burger and one of them has like 2-3 hits of acid in it. So like
Oh, that's fucked up, man.
Well, they all knew.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Oh, so it's like tripping balls roulette.
Yeah, I think Hunter S. Thompson used to do that. Would fucking dose people all the time, dude, without them knowing. Sneak some of their drink. Yeah. Or he'd go around to everybody and tell them, hey, don't tell anybody, but you and me are going to dose. And they would dose. But he would do that to everybody there. Like, so everybody thought they were the only ones. But everybody was all dosed.
Okay.
Fuck introductions. Who needs that shit?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Chatterbox 21. We actually have a guest. Based Mama joins us.
Yeah.
What's up, people?
So far, no people. Oh, no, there might be people. I don't know. I can never tell. I'm bad at that.
With our luck, it'll only be Stench ever.
Oh, does he not like you or something?
Nope.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, are you aware of him? Okay, I wasn't sure.
He's a little schizophrenic about me. Sometimes he likes me. Sometimes he's like, put your tits away. It's like JT Viper, I love you so much. You're so sweet. You're such a whore. I'm like, we used to call that Madonna Horror Complex, actually. And it's very common.
If we hadn't kicked him out, that's like 50% of our core audience. So we got to let him stick around and let him have his opinions. We just respectfully disagree with him.
I don't know, man. That's hilarious. I don't understand why people get so angry.
Maybe he's a Joy fan. Maybe it's as simple as that. Who knows?
Oh, I know there's drama there. I don't know what it is, but
as shitty as he is to me, I think he's a little too smart.
It is Stench Ever. Stench Ever's here.
Well, that's cool. He's not modded, so he can't kick anyone else out, so we're all good.
Right on.
All right. Oh, so this is the thing I just saw that I thought was fucking hilarious. Just because it was such an absurd concept, and it's not going to end well for anybody that actually tries to do it.
Okay.
All right. What do you got, buddy?
All right. Liberal group claims army bases are racist and must come down.
Wow.
I don't think that's going to work out.
Yeah, no. If you're going to attack somebody, attack the military.
Yeah. The Southern Poverty Law Center, literally, according to them, there's a couple of army bases. Notably, the largest army bases are racist and must come down. Like we're supposed to take them down because they're Confederate monuments.
What?
No.
I saw that and was like,
people.
Wait. What were the reasons for saying they're racist? Or do they give any? Or
they're Confederate monuments.
Oh, that's okay. That's the reason.
Yeah, that's all you need. You don't actually have to like justify anything anymore. It's racist.
All right, so you're not saying that there are Confederate monuments on the base. They're saying the bases themselves are Confederate monuments?
Yeah.
Are these like particular bases or just the Army as a whole?
So the Southern Poverty Law Center declared 3 of America's largest army bases to Confederate monuments. So it looks like it's Fort Hood in Texas, Fort Bragg in North Carolina. Ironically, there's Fort Bragg in California, but that's not this one. And Fort Benning in Georgia. So they're the 3 largest army bases.
Wow.
And I assume because if like the riots and stuff keep going on and like the public property being destroyed and private property being destroyed and people being just randomly attacked, that they might eventually release, use the military to quell the stuff, the violence.
I wish they would have already.
You would think the National Guard, yeah.
Well, the National Guard was on site in Charlottesville, and we weren't called in.
Oh, man.
Of course not. Jesus, dude.
Well,
and I think the family of Heather Heyer is going to sue the city and the police department for the stand down orders and the failure to protect, which I figured that they would.
Yeah, I figured somebody would, and that's perfect. Because I really think that if the fucking police stay there, that does not happen.
So I
can't prove it, but
I got a thing about Charlottesville that I'll pop up here on the screen share if I can get it working again. So I saw this online. This is from this is basically agreed upon by a lot of the people that were there, and this is essentially what happened with Charlottesville. And you can see essentially, this is where everybody was that was doing the stuff, the free speech rally or whatever it was. And you can see essentially they basically penned them in between the police and Antifa. And you see where it's marked exit 1 and exit 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's with the entrances and the exits. So they basically forced these people to go through Antifa to get to the place where they were supposed to have their permitted rally thing. And then they had to leave through the same way. And essentially the only way to get out was just through all the
two little corridors. Jesus.
And so, I mean, it was inevitable that there was going to be an insane amount of violence, the way that they set it up. And it was obviously, it's deliberate. I mean, there's no way that happened by accident.
Yeah, that is pretty nuts, dude. Jesus. Well, I'm glad somebody's finally fucking suing somebody over it. It seems like it should have happened in Berkeley before anywhere else, but whatever. As long as it's fucking happening.
It wouldn't have happened in Berkeley. They would have been like, no, I mean, we didn't actually say that, even though their mayor is a member of BAM.
Yeah, that whole thing is just ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, the other problem with going after Berkeley in any real way is that it's going to have to go through California courts.
Right.
And you've seen how that works out. Like, I think the 9th District federal court is the one that struck down Trump. I think that's a California one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the 9th District is based in California, and they're fucking so full of shit.
Super fucking left-leaning. Yeah, California's tough. I understand why you want to get out of there, dude.
Dude, it's ridiculous. So I just found out, like, my mom is helping out with, just like, because there's a whole lot of people, by the way, that are helping to locate people in Texas. And
right.
She was talking about her and a bunch of the people she knows, like, through all these various fandoms and stuff, are, like, hoping that Hurricane Irma will hit Mar-a-Lago. And I was just like, are you fucking serious? Like...
Yeah, I don't understand hoping for tragedy against people just because you disagree with them on shit. That's fucking mind-boggling to me.
Blew my mind.
Yeah. Or the people that I heard there was some charity that decided to shut down rather than help anyone in Texas because they're a red state or whatever.
Really?
Yeah, I can't remember what the charity was, so fuck. But yeah, they would rather shut down.
That Tampa Bay professor who's like, good, they deserve this for being Trump supporters and conservative. And then he got fired and couldn't figure out why he got fired. Because you're a fucking dick. That's why. Because you make the school you work for look like shit.
Yeah, and apparently most of the districts that are getting hit hardest or the worst are ones that actually voted for Hillary.
Oh God, that's just sad.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter, but yeah.
Well, my sister lives down there, and her shit's gone. Like, it's just gone. But they were moving, so like it's a very minimal loss, thankfully. But so they like basically chucked all their shit in their new house and went down to go make sure that the National Guard and stuff are fed, and they're trying to find them places to stay because, of course, they're sleeping in like school hallways and shit because everybody like they cleared out the bases and they've put people there that are displaced. So the servicemen and women are like just sleeping kind of wherever.
Well, they got that furniture store. The one guy that opened up all of his furniture stores and basically just let everybody use the furniture in them to sleep on and stuff.
That's cool as shit because that's a total loss.
Yeah, he'll probably be able to make some of it back selling it used, but I mean, he's going to lose a ton of money on the deal.
Yeah, but it's sort of like a in times of need thing, you know.
Yeah, it is. It's encouraging that a vast majority of people aren't fucking making it political and are actually just willing to fucking help out their fellow humans. Yeah, sucks. It takes a fucking disaster to bring that out, but it's great to see.
Yeah. It depends on who it is, you know.
Did you guys see where they somebody had a monster truck and ended up pulling the army truck out of the flooded waters?
I didn't see that. It's fucking funny though.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome, dude. That thing was flooded like all the way up to like the windshield, like one of those army personnel trucks. Yeah, and then freaking monster truck just pulled it all the way out. Like it was a good 30 feet into that water, like away from where it needed to be pulled out of, and that actually pulled it all the way out.
That's good.
Yeah.
God, dang. I think with all the money that goes into military vehicles, they'd be able to handle some water, but
Yeah, but Texas, everything's bigger, including apparently all of their vehicles. Bigger than the freaking militaries.
Well, that's how it is out here, man. Like, when you live out in the desert and shit, like, you have your car that you drive every day, and then you have this big-ass lifted truck for when it rains.
Yeah. Everybody's got a pickup, dude.
Oh, really?
Everybody has there's a lot of pickups out here, dude.
Oh, yeah, you'll get a monsoon and, like, whole chunks of the road will wash away, so if you can't, like, off-road, you're fucked.
So people actually use off-roading trucks for off-roading there, and not just look good? Because I used to bust tires, right? And we had this one customer when I was busting tires down at, like, the Costco Tire Center, and this idiot put on like super heavy duty mud 4-wheeling tires on his truck. Kept coming back because they would make noise on the freeway. We're like, those aren't for the freeway, man. That will never work.
Oh man, that's fucking.
I'm like 10 times to have us rebalance those tires, and it's like, dude, it's never gonna balance.
Wow. He's like, but it looks so good. It makes me look like a real man.
California.
Drawing attention away from whatever. That's fucking funny though. Yeah. No, here we definitely because when it does rain, it generally fucking pours like crazy. And then there's like a layer throughout most of the desert. There's a layer of clay, like just a few inches down, and it doesn't let the water kind of seep in. Like it takes forever. So yeah, you get a lot of standing water for a while, and it is a lot of fun to fucking go off roading, mudding through that shit.
Yeah. You probably do like water skiing behind the off-roading trucks, right? That would be kind of cool.
It doesn't quite get that deep. Well, sometimes some places it does. I've definitely seen that. Like down by the Walmart, the parking lot will get really full like that. People will be like tubing. There's been people that have been in the parking lot tubing, dude, like just fucking hanging out on inner tubes here. It's fucking great.
That's fucking awesome. Yeah. California. Like we actually have a little bit of flooding in a town near where I'm at that floods every couple of years. And nope, you're never going to see anybody enjoying it. It's all like, oh my god, the world is ending. But they all live right next to a river, so you got to wonder why they didn't expect that.
Yeah, a river to overflow its banks occasionally.
And I'm talking like right on it, because it's like vacation homes and stuff.
Yeah, I don't be living near water. Yeah, I've seen Lake Placid. I'm good.
Yeah, there's enough close nearby, but yeah, not like other places, but there's enough. We call shit rivers where it only flows when it rains.
Yeah. So. Well, we have like the Salt River, which is basically a very long ditch because there's no water in it. I've never seen water in it.
Well, that's the, like flash flood kind of thing, right? Like a lot of the rivers in the Midwest are like that, where they'll dry up for a period of time, and then you always got to worry if you don't want to get kids playing out there because the water will just come screaming through from a thunderstorm like miles away.
Yeah,
it actually just happened up in Payson or outside of Payson not that long ago, where like at least like 8 to 10 people got wiped out by exactly that. because it just came roaring down, and they couldn't get out of the creek in time.
God.
And that was just a creek. That wasn't even a fucking river.
That's pretty bad when it comes on that fast. This is why I don't like waterways. I live in the desert for a reason, y'all.
Yeah, they're pretty well established though too. I mean, we know, you learn pretty quickly where you should not be if it's fucking raining.
Or you should learn quickly.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But
either way, you will. Whether it costs you your vehicle for getting flooded out or not is really the only difference. And that will usually make an impression on you for next time.
there's some places where they don't even bother to pave the road. They basically just take what looks like a snow plow and they just like plow roads through the desert down to the caliche. It's clay, but it's almost like cement. Like you have to break it up with a jackhammer.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so they just
that's what I was saying. Yeah.
So those roads get washed out all the time.
Man, now California sounds really good. So you guys talk about all these like bad weather things, and California sounds great. It's just like the politics part that gets kind of like ridiculous.
Well, that's only like out in the desert though. Like in the cities, it's like a proper city. Outside of the city, it's the fucking Wild West. But in the city, you're cool.
That sounds glorious.
Yeah. Like where I live, we get a lot of the flooding, but again, none of it's usually in any danger to anybody. Like you said, you learn where to go and where not to go. It's a lot of fun, dude. I fucking love it. Yeah. But
I don't know. I wouldn't know because I'm like an hour out of San Francisco, so really, there's not a lot of rural area. Like there's like partially like you'll see farms and stuff, but they're few and far between compared.
Really, I thought Northern California was all farmland.
Well, I guess I'm technically Northern California. We're just sort of like the beginning of Northern California, with right next to San Francisco.
Yeah, let's say around Sacramento and that is a lot of farmland, right? Like up in that area.
Yeah, you got to drive a few hours to get out into the boonies, though.
Right.
I know there's like a whole redneck culture up there. A friend of mine lived in Roseville. And she's like, yeah, they're like all from Georgia. Like they're from Georgia. She's like, no, but they act like they are.
But they act like they are, yeah. See, that I know. There's a lot of fake cowboys in California. Mainly probably because I'm close to San Francisco again. Just saying.
Do they have the accents? Because I have a lot of people that I know here that are from here and live here their whole lives that have a Texas accent.
They fake them.
Yeah, it's fucking funny, dude.
Like I knew this dude who born and bred in like San Francisco area, and he always had like the accent, and he talked about all these like cowboy things, like he was out like roping cows or some shit. It was hilarious. He was totally full of shit though.
Yeah, you gotta love those people, man.
It was great, and he'd like chew tobacco, like big old things to chew all the time.
We call it tar.
See, there you go. That's how I know he was definitely a fake cowboy.
You don't call it chewing tobacco. What the hell?
What a poser that guy is.
I didn't even know it was called chewing tobacco when I was a kid until I moved to the relative north. And they're like, yes, I enjoy chewing tobacco. I'm like, what? Why would you chew tobacco?
Yeah.
I know a dude would chew and smoke at the same time all the time. That was always entertaining to watch.
Yeah, you should throw some nicotine patches on while he does it, dude. Be all set.
Get it all the way in. It was pretty fun.
Just go home.
He was a big old boy. He was a big old boy. He liked to.
Oh Lord.
Like to drink. He was one of those like fake cowboys. It's like you live in the suburbs. You did not grow up with cattle and like I don't know why you're wearing the hat. And I guess they just like the music, sort of like a California thing. Because like even in San Francisco, where the streets are super super fucking narrow, like you really can't drive a regular truck there very well, much less one of the big ones. You'll still see the like lifted pickups that are just spotless every so often.
I've never seen dirt or mud or anything.
Yeah, no, they've never been dirty.
Because they just have them for the look.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that around here too. But if you have a lifted truck, you really can't take it off road that much because the lift won't hold. It'll I know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it won't kind of hold up.
The thingies will break because it's too rough driving. I'm such a girl. The thingies.
So it depends on how they lift it, I would assume. Like if they lift it with the frame or if they lift it with just like leaf springs and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a mechanic, Stabby. Help her out.
I know a little bit about cars. I know enough not to fuck shit up.
It's pathetic. My fiance is a mechanic, and I'm still calling them thingies. So.
I'm thinking it's probably the people that just like sort of like the lowriders that just cut the leaf springs. There's kits where you raise your pickup by just extending the leaf springs, and those would definitely not hold up if you were four wheeling. Those would break pretty bad, pretty quick.
Oh yeah. Well, low riding is really more the thing around here.
Oh yeah, lowriders.
Oh yeah, you'll see a whole lot of pimped out El Caminos.
That is true, Jesus.
And Mazda trucks. I was like, I didn't know Mazda made a truck, but I'm glad you thought to lower it and basically reform it out of Bondo.
Dude, I knew a girl who had it was an S10 Blazer. It was 4-wheel drive, and she slammed it. Like she fucking dropped one that had 4-wheel drive. I was like, why do you get a 4-wheel drive vehicle if you're just gonna fucking drop it? So,
yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
How did you drop a 4-wheel drive though? Like,
exactly.
I can't imagine that was good for the transmission. Like, you probably can't still put it in 4-wheel drive. Can't still work.
Yeah, it's not helping. Yeah, I know she got mocked for it pretty mercilessly, dude.
I can't even. No, you don't do that. That's not right.
It's a sin, dude.
I just don't.
Gears.
Well, excuse me. Like, why would you pay all the extra money for the 4x4 and then just be like, no, I'm gonna cut that out. We don't need that. What? Sorry.
Put some
we actually need it.
Slam it.
I swear, maybe it was like the cheapest one she could find.
That could be that too.
Yeah, Mazda's basically Ford at this point.
Oh God, did you hear about L'Oreal dumping their like trans model because she went on this like crazy racist rant?
I'm so shocked. I can't imagine how that ever would go wrong. I mean, they're like magical fairies.
Oh yeah, I didn't hear the details, but somebody had tweeted something out that was one of the things. They're like, yeah, the tide's finally kind of turning. That plus Trevor Noah referred to Antifa as vegan ISIS.
Trevor Noah?
Yeah, Trevor Noah actually fucking said something.
Who's that faggy black dude that does the Daily Show now, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he sucks. Like, independent of his politics, he's just not funny. There's so many times I fucking heard him say things, and I'm like, fuck, that would have been hilarious if somebody funny actually said it.
Sorry. Okay. I was talking to my kid, and I was like, we were watching something. I think it was Wet Hot American Summer. And like the joke was funny for a second, but then they just kept going and going and going. And I'm like, let the fucking joke die. Like, I get that not letting the joke die is supposed to be funny, but it was funny in 2007. It's not funny anymore. But they just keep doing it. So like once I noticed it, it's like now I see that shit everywhere. Like they just let the joke go on forever. I think it used to be funny like in Family Guy when they would just sort of stand there and wait, just quietly and wait for the joke. And that was funny, but like now it's just become like a fucking nuisance. And I was watching some clip with Trevor Noah where he like tells a joke And then he just keeps it going. And then he starts explaining the joke. And I'm like, okay, it's just not funny. You're not funny. Like, get over it, black male Amy Schumer. You're not fucking funny.
Dude, and because I actually did like Jon Stewart. I thought he was a pretty funny guy, and I really wanted him to be good. And he's just not, dude. He's just not fucking funny, man.
Well, no, go ahead.
I was just saying, I like how Trevor Noah complains about how he got pulled over a whole bunch of times because he's black. I'm like, maybe you just drive like an asshole.
Yeah.
Stop speeding.
I was only going 60 in a 35. What?
Racist cops.
Yeah. Oh, at a certain point, they probably know who you are, man. It ain't because you're black anymore. They know you.
Plus, he lives in New York, right? I mean, come on, that's pretty goddamn liberal, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
I kind of think the cops are almost scared to pull over any minorities at this point there.
Probably.
So, yeah, he's probably doing some shit that needs to get him pulled over.
Oh, yeah. Well, anytime you get to a big enough city like New York or like San Francisco or like LA or something, the driving gets super, super aggressive. Like,
that's true.
They're vicious on the roads, man. Don't try to change lanes. That's just not allowed.
Oh God, that's what it's like out here, man. You get on the fucking 10 and like you signal, and the guy in the next lane's like, and they like haul ass to get up right next to you. Like, I'm not letting you over.
Yeah,
what the
people
fuck,
here
dude?
suck, man. Honestly, LA is actually, other than when it's rush hour where it's barely moving. Like, I go through there like maybe 9, 10 at night, and it's still a lot of traffic. But honestly, they kind of know how to drive. They're still going like 70, but everybody kind of knows how to drive like that. And here, people do some really stupid shit, dude. Yeah, it's...
Oh, they definitely do. But I did notice that in California, people seem to like know the dance. Like...
Yeah, they know how to do it. It's ingrained in their fucking, like, in their fabric, their beings. They're just used to it from dealing with it their entire lives.
The wrong way down in the wrong lane. Like, literally, I've seen that multiple times. And I don't live in, like, it's not a huge city I'm in, but it's not a tiny city either. Like, on a regular basis. People just drive down the wrong side of the road.
Wow.
They just won't take their license away. It's always like some old lady or some old dude sitting in the car.
Yeah. All right. So it's not like one-way streets you're talking about.
No.
Like, Jesus. Dude.
No, big 4-lane, 2-way street. And here comes this little old lady or this little old man cruising down and in the wrong lane, just going the wrong direction super fast.
Yeah.
It's like fucking, where is it? Palm Beach? Like, right? No, not Palm Beach. Where were we? Boca Raton. Holy shit, it's like the Cadillac Cavalcade.
Yeah, a lot of retirees there.
Oh my God, yes, and they can't parallel park. So we're like in this tiny little Toyota Versa or whatever the fuck that thing was, because it was a rental car. We're like, trying to go down the street, and we're being, polite. And this old dude is trying to park a fucking Fleetwood. Like, how long has it been since you've seen one of those? And it goes like back and forth. And it took him about 25 minutes to like parallel park, and we're just sitting there like, oh my God, you're too old. Just don't anymore. Just be done.
Yeah, they can probably afford taxis to go everywhere. Fucking lunatics.
Well, a lot of those retirement areas have like it's big to get golf carts and pimp them out.
A pimped out golf cart is like my fantasy, dude.
Oh shit, Rose is in the chat. Nice. Sorry, I just saw that.
Oh, really? Rubbing peanut M&Ms in my face? Rude. Rude. I love peanut M&Ms. So like, I'll go with my kids trick or treating, and they hate peanut M&Ms. So they're like, "Do you want these? I don't want them."
You don't have to like steal them from them that way though. That works out perfect.
No, I trade them because
Right.
like I have all of the like Twizzlers and stuff that are left over from the candy I bought the week before, but they ate everything else. And so it's like, well, I'll give you Twizzlers. And they're like, fine, I'll trade them at school.
Yeah, well, at least they get something. Shit. Yeah, if they hate the peanut M&Ms that much.
My mom tells me the first Halloween when I was a little kid, I just gave all my candy away. So I would just walk around and just put it in other people's bags. And she was like watching me, and the other kids were like, are you sure we should let him do this? And she'd be like, he'll learn. He won't do it again.
Right. And did you learn, Stabby? Did you?
I would assume so.
Right.
I mean, I'm not a skinny guy, so clearly I figured out candy at some point.
Making up for lost time, dude. Lost candy, whatever.
That's what it is.
Ooh.
This is why I'm such a fan of the rapid fat loss diet, is because like from basically October to January, I'm gonna gain about 50 pounds. But I do
pretty much Halloween through Christmas, dude, is brutal.
It's all the candy, and then I only have to rapid fat loss from like January through mid-March, and then I can go right into Easter and just go nuts, and it's fine. My kids are like, this is too much chocolate. And I'm like, first of all, blasphemy. Secondly, I'll take it. It's fine.
Yeah.
So what is such a fat loss? I have to ask.
Oh, it's a body recomposition diet. And it's mostly used by weightlifters before competition to shed fat but keep muscle.
Oh,
and I used to be like super fat. I was like, well, Detroit has seen me. I'm not a tall person, okay? And I used to weigh 285.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, yes, I actually carried that around with me. It's like twice what I weigh now. But it got to where I was like, God damn, I'm just fat. Like, I didn't even notice how I got fat. Like, oh, shit. And I'm so, like, I'm not going to be one of these people that's like, I'll just have a salad when I go out because I'm not paying $16 for shit I can eat at home. Like,
yeah,
that's retarded. So I was like, I have to find the fastest diet that also doesn't require me to exercise at all because I'm also lazy. So
I'm like, it becomes better every minute you talk about it.
I found the rapid fat loss diet, which is rather a bit like the Slim Fast diet, except you just have like straight low carbohydrate protein shakes, and then no carbs. And you go for like 3-4 days no carbs, and then you do a refeed day where you eat carbs, and you'll lose like 2 or 3 pounds a day at first, especially if you got a lot to lose. It'll drop like crazy. I'm like, yes. I just do that a lot.
No, but
Shit, I gotta try that, man. Fuck, I've lost.
I will send you the PDF, my brother.
Yeah, because I mean, I've done the trying to eat right and exercise. Well, I've been going to the gym. Surprisingly, I've actually lost like 30 pounds over the last few months. So believe it or not, I was 30 pounds fatter even than when you met me out the last Friday. So really fucking fat. So
well, you're not really fucking fat now.
Yeah. Well, I usually suck it in. So, and I was standing a lot, so I could hide it. Plus the vertical stripes, on the shirt that I was wearing probably helped too.
You are
because I'm even after losing 30 pounds, I'm only down to like 320. Yeah, I was at almost 350.
Well, you carry it well, because I never would have guessed that.
Yeah, well, I hide it well.
Apparently. I used to live where you live now, and one of the things that, like, there's a body type that is very particular to that geography on chicks. Like, they will be super hot until they hit like 22, and then they just explode, but only from the hips to like just below the boobs, because their boobs never get bigger, their thighs never get fat, so they just look like sacks of potatoes on toothpicks.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I've seen that at Walmart a bunch of times.
Yeah, and you're like, your legs look so weird on your body.
It looks like a Frankenstein thing, like somebody put together a couple of people.
Exactly. It's like these things do not go together. And they'll have like really nice legs. It's not like their legs are horrible, but then there's just like Humpty Dumpty on top of it. So you're like, I don't even know right now. But the thing is, it's like they hit that fucking age, and it's just kaboom, like done.
Yeah, I think it's once they've popped out a few kids, because they usually have by that age down here.
This is also true.
Oh, maybe they like get into the like pregnant eating, but just never get back out of it. We're like,
after the third kid, probably, yeah. So like that's enough. I'm just gonna let myself go at this point.
That's enough trying.
Right.
I'm not gonna do that anymore.
At least the ones that don't use meth constantly end up like that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's true. They're like always eating tamales and shit.
I apparently have like some previously fractured vertebrae or something.
Oh,
and so
shit.
they were like, you really got to lose weight or it's not going to like, it's going to keep making your back messed up. And I was like, oh, well, given that, I better get working on it.
Yeah, probably a good idea, dude.
Yeah, apparently like a 6 foot wall is like flat on your back onto like pavement. Not real good for your back.
I can't imagine that it would be.
Shocking.
Yep.
Who knew?
Yeah,
I will send you the rapid fat loss diet as well.
Yeah, really. Don't play on forklifts when you're like a kid. Let me tell you that. Anybody listening who's young, like when you're 18, 19 years old, you are not immortal. Do not play on the forklift. It doesn't work out.
Damn.
It's a lot of fun, man. Shit.
I'm just like, tell me this story.
Well, I was working at Sears Auto Center, just changing tires and batteries and whatnot, and we had to empty the trashes. So we thought, well, it'll be super fun and super easy if we just get the forklift out, put a pallet on it, and just roll the trash cans on top of the pallet, and then we'll just lift the whole pallet with me and the trash cans, and empty them into the dumpster that way. Well, Dum Dum that was driving it thought I was finished after the first one instead of like waiting for me to like dump all 4 of the trash cans that were up there. And so I'm pulling the trash can towards the dumpster and he backs up away from it. So we're going opposite directions.
Jesus.
And I'm about 6 foot straight up in the air and I ended up like just flat out on my back hitting the ground. Boom.
God damn.
It was I was up and moving around like right after it happened, and then I just sat there to get my breath back for like 5 minutes, and then I was like, I think I'm gonna go home and sleep now.
Yeah, sleep off that concussion and fractured vertebrae, dude.
No, there was no
Totally.
I tucked my head in, thankfully. Like I pulled my head in sort of like almost fetal, so my head didn't hit nothing on the way down, which was lucky.
That's nuts, dude. That's a pretty decent distance to fall, dude, straight on your back.
You'd be surprised. It hurt, but it was more like the breath getting knocked out of you.
Oh, yeah. That is terrifying for, dude, and you can't breathe for a few seconds. Jeez, that is fucking terrifying.
I was like 18, 19 years old, man. I didn't give a shit. I just was like, oh, that hurt a little bit. I better just not do that again. All right, I'm going to get back to work.
Yeah, you know, it's bounce back. Yeah.
Wish I could go back to that time, knowing then what I know now.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I don't want to do over, but like I want to keep the wisdom. Shit like, if she seems really cool, she's probably a bitch. Would be like a really good one to learn.
If she seems good to be true, most likely it is.
There's a bunch of girls who were flirting with me when I was in high school that I had no fucking clue. That I absolutely would have gone out with. Just like, I could have been way more successful with the women if I realized, oh, that one actually likes me.
That's true too. Like, how many friends did you have that were like, oh, we totally could have gone out in high school, and you're like, why didn't you say anything? Oh, I was shy. Like,
Yeah.
Dude,
I could have saved so much fucking pain if you would have just been like, hey, I like you.
Oh my God. Actually, I was notorious for that. Like, well, not quite what you guys are talking about, but like not realizing people are hitting on me. Or I guess I was kind of notorious for turning potential sexual partners into friends. Like really, really bad about it. Literally like
people all the time.
Yeah. Literally when I was when I had met my ex, she was friends with a friend of mine and his wife. They were literally like, it was weird. They were talking her up to me or whatever. And my friend was literally telling her like, dude, you got to hurry up and sleep with them or you're going to end up just being friends with them. I was like, Jesus Christ, dude.
I was notorious for having friends that liked me and not knowing that they liked me because, like, I talk a big game, but in real life, I will not pick up what you are putting down on the flirting broadcast. Like this, I am not receiving this signal. So.
Yeah, that was another thing. My friends would tell me like, dude, she was hitting on you. I'm like, no, she wasn't. She was just being friendly. Yeah, yeah, same thing.
Yeah, you're like, oh shit, I missed it. Sorry, but it's good because somebody actually has to like be direct with you, and I'm very literal too. So like, if you say something and I don't like get that you're joking, I will 100% take you seriously, and then realize afterwards that you were just being facetious or whatever. But I'll be like super offended by it and then be like, oh, I'm dumb. Like, well, I'm like, you've met me, you understand. Like, I'm so glad we actually met.
Oh man, yeah. And dude, the stuff that I'm talking about would happen in bars. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the girls would come up and like talk to me. Like, again, the longest time I didn't realize I was actually a decent looking guy. So yeah, I would think they were just being friendly and just like wanted to talk to me, not thinking they had any interest in hooking up at a fucking bar. Like, you know what I mean? That's kind of what it's there for the most part. But I would still just be like, oh, hey, nice to meet you, and fucking go back to my table or whatever.
Like, okay, well, see ya.
It was nice meeting you.
Doing that too.
Yeah, pretty sad.
You know what? But girls do something when they're attracted to you that you might not notice. But once you notice it, you can't not notice it anymore.
Okay, shoot.
They will very slightly puff their chest out to make their breasts look bigger.
Oh gosh!
Like they'll stand up a little straighter. And that's the I want to fuck you body language. And I wasn't aware of it until my high school girlfriend told me about it. And she's like, yeah, just watch chicks. Like, that's how she knew when she was at the bar, like the gay bar. That's how she knew a chick wanted to, like, hit it. I'm like, that's amazing.
Guys do the same shit. I used to call it the rooster.
Yeah.
Stick their chest out, and they look like little roosters walking around all of a sudden. Right. Guys do that same shit in high school. That was my favorite. Oh, look, he's getting a rooster.
What's the belt adjusting? Like, what's that about?
The belt adjusting? I don't know. I've never really worn a belt, to be honest.
Like, I see it a lot. Like, dudes will kind of, like, I don't know, like, move their shoulder weird and, like, move their belt. And it's like, what are you doing here?
It might be adjusting because something's a little tight, you know?
Well, I noticed that they do it before they go up and talk to chicks. So I'm like, are we like mentally prepping ourselves? This is like a little personal pep talk, or what's going on here?
Maybe they're just making sure, like, if they pop wood or something unexpectedly.
Yeah, you might want to like tuck it up in the band.
Yeah, or they already have wood and they're trying to tuck it into there.
Yeah, I do.
Wouldn't that hurt though?
Depending on
not really. It depends on how tight the belt is, I guess.
It's so sensitive, and I can't imagine that denim is very kind. So many questions. So should I'll think about it 2 o'clock in the morning. That will keep me from sleeping.
Oh yeah, I was just saying.
God damn it! Now it's in my head too. How do we do it?
That might not be as far away as you think. Well, not technically time travel, but they can reverse the aging in mice.
That's good for the mice.
Huh?
Yeah, I said that's good for the mice.
And apparently it's just essentially adding blood from baby mice to older mice. So we could potentially reverse human aging, but we're going to have to steal blood.
But Soylent Green is people? Is that what you're saying here?
Yeah.
I'm solid. Thanks.
Growing ears on their backs like in the old days.
I'll
You guys
just
remember
age.
that when they used to do that? They'd grow like a fucking ear, like a human ear, like they'd have a little mold or something. Grow a fucking ear on a mouse's back.
So creepy.
It's
Here's my pet mouse. We're growing a nose on it. So don't pet him too much.
That's so weird.
So you don't make it crooked.
Damn.
Oh, God, it's fucking weird. That is just fucking weird. We do a lot of weird shit that I think we really shouldn't be doing. I'm very anti-artificial selection. Like, permanently that.
Science, we're all about coulda, not shoulda.
Exactly. I don't think we should start cloning people, because you realize that the people that will be the subjects of this will be the dumbest people that can possibly be found, because they'll be like, sure, clone of me sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
Maybe it's already happening.
It's like those people that clone their pet. Oh shit, this lady had her fucking cat cloned out here, and then she was like, I know that it is Stevie Wonder, because her cat was blind, but the cat's clone was not blind, and she still named it Stevie Wonder. And she's like, but it's like it has a whole other personality, like it's a whole other animal.
Because it fucking is.
I'm like, what did you think was gonna happen here? Like, what?
A cat that can see acts differently than a cat that's blind. That's shocking. And it's
like this whole other cat. It's just fucking funny that she's like so surprised. Like, God damn, woman. I've never liked anything enough to want two of it in my life.
The cloning is
my kids.
The cloning started. That explains the social justice warriors. They're all clones.
I'm non-conformist. That's why I look like everybody else. Sorry.
Absolutely.
My daughter's looking at colleges. Like, tour days are the funnest things in the whole world, dude.
Oh man. Oh,
I can't imagine what that's like nowadays. Jesus Christ.
Well, I bet all the kids act like they're little adults, like trying to pretend they're super like mature and stuff.
Well, it's more like these damn grown-ups don't know what the world's about. And like my kid's one of those ones, like she's got, the Kekistan pin and she wears it around and shit. And she's an asshole and she doesn't care.
Nice.
So like they start talking to her and then like they try to get her into the like free Palestine thing, and she's like, I don't want to free Palestine. I want Palestine to be destroyed. She's like fucking upfront about that shit. Like,
that's gotta go over well.
I support Israel in this. Okay. And they just like stare at her. Like, what?
Yeah, they don't know how to handle it. They're so used to being surrounded by their fucking
echo chamber.
Yeah, the whole echo chamber bullshit. What? Nobody in the world thinks like that.
Well, we treat them like you treat, your schizophrenic uncle or cousin. Like they say a bunch of crazy shit, and you're just like, oh yeah, I believe that. Yeah. Because the last thing you want to do is disagree with crazy people, right? So you're like, yep, okay, yep, sure.
I think we talked about this a while back. The fact that like I could be facing a dude that's like 7 foot tall and ripped, and that's way less scary than somebody that's just crazy.
Oh yeah,
crazy is too goddamn unpredictable, dude.
Yeah, you don't know if they're gonna stop.
Yeah, or bite your fucking ear off, or
just keep fighting.
Right.
Yeah, I would much rather have giant big dude taking swings at me than like crazy little midgety guy. Because midgety guy, he's crazy.
Yeah.
You don't know where he's gonna come from.
Well, he'll probably hit low.
Oh.
I'm sorry, that was a pretty bad joke. Low hanging fruit there.
Here's the girl fight tip. I have noticed this. I have not like been in fights, but like except with my sisters and stuff. But Girls always go high, like to go for each other's hair and shit and try to scratch each other's faces. And I'm like, why don't any of you, like, go for the kidneys or just punch her in the tit as hard as you can or cunt punt her? Like, that shit's gotta hurt. Like, just do it. But they're, like, gonna pull each other's hair and slap each other and shit. I'm like, this is just awful. Like, but it is really funny.
Yeah.
Because girls don't know how to fight, so.
Yeah. Just waiting for the shirt to come off. Every time we see a girl fight, dude, I'm like, somebody's shirt has to come off, dude. It doesn't always happen, but goddamn, when it does, it's magical.
I like when they're about to fight and they're like, you keep talking shit, and they sit down, take their shoes off, and their earrings come out, and they put their weave down, like, all right, we're gonna fight now. I'm like, holy shit. It's like she's fucking disrobing. Like, Jesus Christ.
Let me just strip down so I make weight for this fight.
Pretty much. It's fucking funny. Like, I don't know.
Talking shit the whole time, dude. It is fucking hilarious.
This is what happens when you hang around failure too much, is you're going to see like a lot of these videos. And you start to pick up on things. Like when two chicks are talking shit and one of them goes to sit down, she's not sitting down, she's not giving up. She's gearing up to come out of her fucking corner. That shit is hilarious. Sorry.
Dudes that try to break it up are like super brave, because generally, like, if you try to stop the girl fight, suddenly it's two girls versus you. It's almost never going to work out the way you hope. It's like,
I think my favorite girl fights are the guy caught cheating fights, and she's not going to be mad at the dude. Yeah. She's going to be mad at the chick he's sucking, who probably had no idea he had a girlfriend or a wife.
Yeah, I've always been amazed at that. Like, why do you fucking go after that other person instead of the one you're dating, dude?
And they're probably just like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, they're probably just as mad. They were like, I thought I was going to be this great dude. Turns out, nope, not at all.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny. It's like, okay, go ahead, I guess, but just sort of like the guy is just sitting there, or sometimes filming it, let's face it.
Yeah, a lot of times probably filming it and going, yeah.
I just think it's hilarious. I find women to be hyper emotional and a little bit crazy in general.
Yeah, it's true. You can't be fucking rational in that situation, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, girls do that whole thing too, where they get two guys to fight over them all the time, like especially in like high school.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
They get two. Why would you fight over a girl if she's fucking both of you? I'd just be like, all right, bye, bitch. Like, done.
Right.
Yep. Niche Brown in the chat.
Like, what are you fighting over? Like, that's what I don't understand it.
I had a dude that I knew a dude that he used to live down in LA, and he was like in a band in the drugs and all that stuff. So he dated some crazy chicks. And one girl he was dating got this guy all hopped up, and this guy came over and like banged on his door. And so he opens the door and he's like, "Hey," the guy's like, "You're not treating so and so. You're not treating her good. And he just was like, "Take her." She's all yours. Go for it, man. And then he just closed the door and went back to what he was doing. He did a lot of heroin,
That's
so he was pretty
perfect, dude.
About an hour later, she showed up mad as hell.
Yeah.
What do you mean, take her?
That.
Oh shit. Oh, it's like the like instant equality fights. Like, I fucking love that shit.
Dude, I do too. I kind of judge myself a little, but not really. But
Not me.
Yeah.
I already told my boys, if a girl hits you, knock her ass the fuck out.
Yeah. At this point, yep. Here's what equality looks like.
Well, if you're gonna take a swing at a man, you better get ready to take a swing by a man. That's how that shit goes. That's why I don't be fighting with guys, because I am very weak.
Right. Yeah, and that's definitely happening a lot more and more. It's like guys just getting fed up with this shit. They're like, all right, you want to fucking act like a man? I'm gonna treat you like a man.
I don't
fucking knock you out.
I don't think I could. Man.
Yeah, I don't know if I could either. I'm saying that, but
I'm not gonna hit no girl.
Yeah.
You should. If she hits you first, it's assault. You have a right to defend yourself, even if she's a girl. And also, you might get a squeeze of boo every once and again in the middle of it. So I don't see what the downside to this is.
Yeah, I carry like 2 full-grown men though, man. If I swing at somebody, it means something. I don't want to do that. I don't get in fights though. So I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not out there starting fights.
I think that's why dudes don't hit chicks, because you know if you hit her, she's going the fuck down. Like, you already know this. So men are like a lot more restrained about it. But
yeah, societal too is a really big part of that too. Because I mean, before I dated my ex, I was like fucking 100% certain I'd never hit a woman, and you know, once I dated her, I fucking knew for sure it was definitely possible. Like, yeah, I couldn't fucking or fucking strangling her, dude. Something.
I know too many like butch lesbians, and they just like to pick fights with men and then cry, but don't hit me, I'm a girl. Like, so I'm like, fuck that shit, just beat her ass.
Oh, that's
yeah. It depends. I mean, like my ex like would fucking occasionally hit me, but she couldn't fucking hurt me, so I would just kind of laugh at her. But I can imagine if she was big enough and strong enough to actually hurt me, yeah, I'd probably fucking smack her back, dude.
I was watching that Yvette Falarka video where she like, cause she's tiny, she's like 4'8", and she tries to like jump on this like 6 foot something dude and beat him up, but she looks like a fucking hobbit on his back, like it's crazy. And she's trying to punch him, and oh god, it's like remember Princess Bride when Inigo Montoya jumps, or no,
Wesley
Pirate Roberts jumps on Andre the Giant's back. Like, that's the first thing I thought, because she's like, you know, down in her Antifa gear, and she like leaps onto this guy, and he's like swatting at her like a fly, like, get off me, and she's like, no fascist, no KKK. It was fucking hilarious. He's just like, get off me. What the fuck? That shit was hilarious.
But that's like all of Antifa though. Like, almost all of them are super weak. They never go at anybody like head on. It's always like sucker punching.
Oh, they will, but they're usually fucking tweaking like a motherfucker. Everybody I ever knew that was into that shit they were fucking meth heads or on some kind of amphetamine.
Oh, did you say
back in that day? It was like way back then. It was the kind of purpley colored meth was like the big thing, and I'm like, nah, I'm not into that. I don't do drugs. Like, I'm cool. But they would go to protest shit, like an NRA meeting or whatever, and they would like smoke meth to get ready for it, or they do like pop pills or whatever. Like, they'd get fucking tweaked out for it, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You realize if you get arrested and they think that you're, you know, on something, and they take your blood, now you have a fucking drug charge, you goddamn morons.
Yeah. Well, you see that interview on Stephen Molyneux's channel. I'm not a big fan of Molyneux, but he actually interviewed an ex-Antifa member. Mm-hmm. And that's what the guy was saying. It was like, yeah, everybody's doing drugs. Like, people are either training to be like a professor or like a drug dealer. Like, there's the only two like end results of going through like the full Antifa thing. Is you end up either dealing drugs or fucking being a professor. And so all the dumb ones just all of it is just, you know, meth and weed and all that kind of shit is pretty much all they do.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. You kind of have to be high to kind of buy into all that shit, too.
to buy into two completely fucking mutually exclusive ideas, yeah. Anarchism and communism, yeah, you pretty much have to be high to think that's what it is.
Yeah, communism isn't authoritarian at all.
At least if you're high, you understand, you know, like why they would believe that shit.
Well, it's like the anarcho-capitalists too. The two things I just don't get is the anarcho-capitalists and the anarcho-communists. And I'm like, you do realize those are like impossible, right? Like
anarcho-capitalism, like, you have to have rules though. Like, that's the thing I don't get. There has to be some kind of enforceable regulation, because if it were just pure capitalism or whatever, it would be totally fine to like pimp out kids, because it's capitalism, fuck you. Especially if they're your kids, because of the whole like non-aggression thing. So as long as you don't fuck with somebody else's kids, you know, that's cool. Like, no, dummy.
The non-aggression principle is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, I'm like, it's like if somebody's sitting over there like, I'm gonna kill you, and they're loading their gun, like sitting there loading like rounds of the clip. Yeah, well, right. Just a minute or two, I'm gonna fucking shoot you, and you're supposed to be like, well, I can't do anything yet. They haven't been aggressive. Like, wow, that's gonna work out for you, man.
It's just I don't know. Like I'm a libertarian, I guess. You know, kind of anti-statist, very pro-freedom, minimal government. But I don't think there shouldn't be any government. I think that's just dumb. Mostly because I live out here.
Well, dude, I mean, there's no fucking way to work. The only way it would work is if everyone was like the fucking perfect human being. You know what I mean? And people are not that good.
They're not.
You know, like maybe someday we'll be evolved enough as a society where we don't need that kind of shit. I really doubt that that'll ever happen, but like we're just nowhere near. What do you call it? Whatever. Nice, I guess is the word. There's a way better word, but anyways, there's not enough nice people. There's not enough decent people to pull anything remotely like that off.
It's the phrase "no somos angelos." Like, we are not angels.
Right. Yeah. Right.
We are imperfect. So stop trying to act like you're perfect. We're like, we'll all be happy one day together, because it'll never happen.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of what the leftist problem is they imagine this world as it should be, like this theoretical world, and then they want to try to fucking legislate like that's how the world really is. And it's fucking impossible.
If we just make the rules so that they agree with all the things that we think are good and honest and pure and just, then everybody will just be good and honest and pure and just, because everybody follows the rules.
That's why there is no rape or crime in prison. Right there. They have a very well-structured rule system.
Exactly. How could that go wrong?
It'll work. Like, that's the dumbest. I swear, I'll make the rules and people will follow it is the dumbest thing ever. Like, no, people don't like being told what to do, so they will buck the system because they don't like being told what to do. Like, the worst thing you can do with, you know, ideas you don't like is try to censor them, because that just makes them more popular. People want to know about it because it's taboo, or they shouldn't, or whatever, because people don't like authoritarianism. They don't like to be bossed around. Like, how much do you, even as an adult, how much do you fucking hate your parents trying to give you life advice?
Yeah.
Parents, in general, like, they might have terrible political views, but in general, have always been like, hey, do what you're going to do. We'll back you, but if you want to hear some advice, come and ask. So, like, I actually don't mind, because generally speaking, I'm the one asking if it's the case. But I don't think that's
about, like, you know, my mom who has the Rand McNally Atlas because she doesn't trust Google Maps.
Wow. Wow. That is extreme.
Okay. She's like, oh, you just can't trust that. It's always going to tell you to turn the wrong way. I'll just use the Atlas. And, like, she went to go buy one, and she's like, they don't have them anymore. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, some reason there's not so much of a demand for them anymore. I can't imagine why.
Oh.
No, Google Maps, that's how they get you.
I try to keep a map of, like, an area if I'm going somewhere I don't know. Just because, like, you never know, you might not have service. So,
shut up, Stabby. Shut up, Stabby.
Utah. Listen, we were driving in Utah, and they have, like, weird streets. It's like Southwest 93874 by Northeast 51723.
Oh yeah, you mean the way they name their streets? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like all fucked up, and we're driving through, and we have the GPS, and the GPS is like, nope, I give up.
Right.
It's just like shutting down. Like, what? Wait, we're stuck. We don't know where we are.
You're on your own.
Basically, it was
This
like,
makes
man, fuck
no
you guys.
sense.
Well, I couldn't find the road that we were on. Like, it kept, like, trying to reroute and kept putting us, like, over in Ogden, but we were in Salt Lake City.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, it was like, I don't know what's happening here. Fuck you guys, shutting down. That was it. Okay.
You must have been just outside its margin of error Like it's like if you're this close to the where we think the road is, then you're on that road. But if you're this far away, you must be somewhere else. And it was just past that little tiny margin of error, and it was like, nope, it must be somewhere else. They're clearly not there anymore.
Yeah, or it couldn't even figure that out, and it's just like, fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the GPS was just like, nope, done, bye, that's it.
Well, wasn't it like in Germany where people keep driving like into lakes and stuff and rivers?
God damn.
They just follow the GPS's advice, so like 100%, but every once in a while it's wrong and it just directs them into like a river or a lake.
Wouldn't you see the river or the lake coming?
It's usually at night, and they trust in the GPS, so they just do it.
Yeah. Well, maybe those people should be taken out of the gene pool anyway. I hate to say that, but I mean, come on.
Well, if
that's called natural selection, and I am all for that.
That is Darwin Award material.
I'm like down with warning labels. Like,
yeah, if you're driving in the woods at night, I don't know if you guys have any thick forests, but yeah, if you're in the woods at night driving on some of the old forest roads and it's dark, you could easily make a wrong turn and just end up in like a river or a creek or something.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Not during the day, surely.
No, I imagine probably not during the day. It's usually at night that it was happening, but it was like a big thing for a while in Germany.
I don't know. If you're going through the woods on like dirt roads and shit, you should probably not be going fast enough to where you can't stop before you end up in a fucking river.
That's not as fun. I used to drive like Maniac, and it was a lot more fun to just drive like 90 miles an hour down an old dirt road that there would never be any cops on than you might think. I mean, incredibly dangerous, but it was a lot of fun.
So how old were you when you stopped doing that?
I want to say I was like 21 or 22, and my friend got in the car, and he's like, all aboard the Rage Coaster. What? And he's like, well, you're so angry all the time, and you drive like a lunatic, so it's sort of like a roller coaster, but with a really angry person on it. And it forced me to kind of take a look at myself, and I was like, oh, maybe I'm an asshole, and I better fucking just learn to relax a little bit, because this is clearly not something I want to be known as.
The Rage Coaster.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I have like bad road rage, but I have like the soccer mom road rage because like if you're, I don't know, if you're just going fast and kind of weaving in traffic, I don't really care. But you know, now being a soccer mom myself, and I'm speaking against my own religion, I guess. But these chicks they always drive like a fucking Honda Odyssey or a Toyota Sienna, right? And they're always on their phone, so they're like updating Facebook or whatever. They're coming to the intersection, not slowing down, not stopping at all, and then they're like, and slam on their brakes and like almost flip their fucking minivan because they weren't paying attention. And I'm like, get off the road, you fucking idiot. I hate that.
Yeah, I would honestly, having done quite a bit of drunk driving and distracted driving, the distracted driving is so much more dangerous, dude.
Yeah, because when you're drunk driving, you're like paying super close attention and fully concentrating.
Yeah, at least someone is driving the car at that point. But yeah,
yeah.
If you're checking your phone or trying to text somebody, there's nobody driving your car.
Oh, but yeah, it's so bad around here. It drives me fucking crazy. Even the cops do it. I'm like, get off the fucking phone.
Oh, you can't talk on your phone in California and drive. You get a huge ticket. I mean, massive, like $200 or $300.
You can't even like talk, like be in a conversation.
No, you have to have if you want to be like on the phone talking, you have to have a headset. You cannot have your phone in your hand.
Yeah, that's the way it is. That's quite a few places that are like that now, though. Yeah.
It ain't like that here. I mean, I wish it was, but it ain't.
Yeah, it really should be. I mean, with like speech to text and all that, honestly, it probably should be. But whatever. This is the wild, wild west, goddammit. We're stealing that way.
Well, that's true. You'll still see people like riding around with 35 people in the back of their truck on the freeway.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Yeah, that's been outlawed pretty much everywhere else, I believe.
Yeah, but here.
Right.
And the speed limit on the freeway is 75. I feel like I should point that out. So it's not like a reasonable speed or anything.
Yeah, 65 is the highest you get in California. Unfortunately, especially along the 101, there's a lot of freeway on-ramps that haven't been fixed since the speed limit went from 55 to 65 a few years back. And I say a few years back, I mean like 10. But so there'd be like intermittently there will be like on-ramps and off-ramps where you have plenty of time to get up or get back down from speed, and then somewhere you have zero chance of getting up to speed before you get on the freeway. It's pretty bad.
Eesh. Yeah, I can imagine that in California. That's fucking nuts.
Oh yeah. Because we had 55 for the longest time, and then about 10, 15 years ago, they were like, we're not going to take any more federal road money. We'll just make it 65. Because that's the limit, I think, right now, is the feds will only give you freeway money if you're 55 or under speed limit-wise.
Oh, really?
That seems dumb.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
I should probably
just be like,
I could be completely wrong.
Yeah. I'm going to say, we got 65 going through the fucking cities on the freeways here. It's like 75 outside the cities, and then you get in the cities, it's still 65.
Everybody's going like 100 anyway. So.
Right.
We don't have a lot of wrecks here, but usually when we have them, they're deadly because people are going so fast. And it's usually somebody's like all the way over in the left-hand lane going 45 and fucking 75.
Yeah.
Or some asshole on a motorcycle. Ugh.
Yeesh. Yeah, I would never ride a fucking motorcycle on the freeways here, dude. Or not in the city anyway.
Oh, fuck no. But we don't have a helmet law here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing.
Helmet law either?
So you'll have like these dipshits on their, crotch rockets going in between traffic, which is illegal as fuck, at 90 miles an hour up a fucking highway, and then they come around like a big curve and they're like, oh shit, because, I don't know, they couldn't see it coming.
In California, the motorcycles can go between cars, no big deal. Perfectly legal.
Oh, wow.
Super dangerous, but they're all wearing helmets.
That makes it better.
Oh, yeah, like that's going to save you on a fucking freeway.
Oh, so from 1973, because of the oil crisis, there was a federal speed limit of 55 miles per hour nationwide. And essentially they would withhold federal road funds. And then between 1987 and 1988, which is when they changed the speeds in California, I think, it went up to 65, and I think in 95 it looks like they just repealed the limits.
And yeah, I know there's definitely one like on Interstate 8 is definitely up to 70. I've never seen it above 70 anywhere in California. Yeah.
I don't know. The only place I've ever driven to in California myself was Anaheim. And Coachella is, I don't, like, I get that they have a big concert out there because someone had to explain to me what a Coachella was. I'm like, what? But it is like shittiest town I have ever seen in my life. It's like all strip malls, all of it.
Yeah. Dude, I think, where is it? Is it La Quinta or somewhere like that? Near La Quinta?
Yeah.
Yeah, I broke down, or not broke down. I got a flat tire right in that area between, I think it was there in a Desert Center. And yeah, I had to fucking end up staying there till the next morning. There's nothing. Well, that whole stretch of I-10. Like once you get past Blythe, there is nothing, dude, pretty much until you get there. And even that's not much of anything. So yeah, it's weird that they have a huge music festival out there. It's hot as fuck. I was changing my tire and it was like 10 at night and it was still like 114 degrees.
Yeah.
Ugh, yeah. No.
It doesn't make any sense, dude.
California.
I guess it's cheap. It must be cheap to put it on out there, I guess.
Yeah, well, we also have Slab City, and you got to remember, Southern California is technically a desert. It's just they pipe in water for LA, so it tends to get. It's easy to be fooled because it's such a broad area where they pump water to. That's still essentially should be a desert.
Yeah. It's really affected by all the AC units and all that shit. It actually affects the weather. No, it's just the water grows all the grass and stuff, and so like because they keep pumping it in, the grass holds everything down. The dirt, the soil, and all that stuff still doesn't
So it's not as barren looking as it should be.
Right. Yeah, it's weird because San Diego is not that far from really that far from LA, and it's fucking completely different. It's actually further south, and the weather down there is always,
Well, if it's closer to the coast, that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Like even just being like a mile, or maybe not even a mile away from the coast, and it's like fucking at least like 7 or 8 degrees hotter. Really crazy.
It's so it's about 45 minutes from where I'm at to the beach, and it was 110 today. And I guarantee if you went out to the coast, you'd be looking at maybe upper 90s, like maybe not even upper 90s, like upper 80s, lower 90s.
Yeah, and you really don't have to go that far inland to get it to jump up quite a bit.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's pretty nice when you go to the coast. I just didn't go today. I should have gone.
Yeah, get the fuck out of that heat, dude.
The only problem is everybody else goes too, so it's not that great.
All right.
And then now we can't have there's a whole bunch of stuff that they changed because at least in my area you can't have fires on the beach anymore. Like it used to be, you could go out
bonfires.
You used to be able to go out and have fires with your buddies. Just throw back a couple of beers, have a fire on the beach. But now there's this bird that's endangered, so now nobody can have a fire. And instead of putting out fire pits, so that they could limit where people do it and just have but still, people could do it because people do it anyway. Obviously, it's just now they go way out into areas where the park rangers don't see them.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, there's a sand dune at one of the coasts that was probably a good 20-foot tall sand dune, and it was covered with this weird sort of spiky long grass that grows out there. And because they were having
what is that called? Beach grass? It's not beach grass. It's called something else. I can't remember.
Sedge or something like that. I can't remember the name offhand. But anyway, somebody burned all the grass down because they were trying to hide from the park rangers and have their little fire anyway. And it burned all the grass down. So the dune, within a month, was just completely gone. And it was basically it was crazy. I wasn't that. It was still, it's not like the beach is now awful because that one dune wasn't there anymore. But
still though, that's kind of part of it, have that much wash away or blow away.
Well, the upside was there's a creek that flows through there intermittently. Part of the year it flows all the way through straight out to the ocean, and part of the year it's blocked off into a little lake. And so the benefit was that area was bigger. And then if you go out during the right time at night, there's this plankton that's in the sand. So if you go where the tide is out and the wet sand is there, as you walk and push down on the sand or scatter the sand, little tiny sparkles of light.
Oh, yeah, the phytoplankton. That's why
so cool.
Yeah, I've seen it in around Carlsbad there. The water's all red. It looks disgusting, dude. You can't go in it. But at night when the waves would break, they would light up, dude. It's fucking awesome.
We don't get it in the water. We just get it in the sand.
Yeah.
It's not nearly as bright. You have to be there. I couldn't get it on film. There's no way I would be able to catch it on film. But you can see it if you're there.
Yeah, no, I've seen it where it actually, again, the water is just completely red, for just everywhere in the actual ocean. And when the waves break, because the motion is what kind of activates them to light up or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really amazing to see. Yeah, and same thing, you can see where your footprints are; it'll still be lit up. Yeah.
Yeah. Ours is you step down and it'll be like little sparkles in the sand, really faint. You got to be watching. Yeah. And then
this was. Yeah, what I saw was way more intense than that, dude. That's really spectacular, man.
Now I want to go.
So there, I fucking win, asshole. Yeah, what?
Sorry, I have to bicker with my kid.
I want to go to Carlsbad, though. That sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah, it doesn't happen that often, dude. Yeah, I've only seen it just the one time, actually. But yeah,
you know what I want to see really bad though is a Humboldt squid.
The Humboldt.
Oh, those are the ones that change colors and shit, right?
Yeah, I just want to look at it.
Oh, the Humboldt squid.
Yeah, I think that would be so cool. I just want to watch it do what it does.
Yeah, those are weird animals, dude. Just the fact that they can
animals,
change colors. Yeah, no, I'm not. Yeah. Weird for me is usually a positive thing, but yeah, in my mind.
Okay.
Yeah, just the way they can change colors and shit like that, and all glow and fucking like strobe and shit is really fucking awesome.
I want to see that, and then also an electric eel. Whenever, like, I've seen it on TV, but I want to like see it in person. I don't want to touch it or anything, but I want to see it in person.
Yeah. Yeah, that's some pretty wacky. I want to see a platypus, dude. The thing freaks me out, dude.
I know, but it's like so freaky. You want to see it in real life.
Yeah.
I just want to see a beaver with a duck bill.
Right.
Like, that's my total goal in life. It's like that's got to be proof of God. It's like all the extra parts of things stuck together. The platypus. There you go. It's a thing.
Yeah, right. I miss. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I miss from back east. I miss seeing fireflies. That was the coolest shit to me when I was a kid. It was like catching fireflies. You know, bugs flying around with their ass lit up all the time. It was really cool shit.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Yeah, because they're everywhere. There's like, thousands of them, dude. And at night, they're just, their little butts are lighting up constantly. And so, yeah, that's pretty cool shit, too.
You could probably see a beaver with a duck bill if you find, like, Disney fetish porn.
Thanks for the tip, Stabby.
Donald Duck action.
Oh, my God.
I never understood Donald Duck because he only wears a shirt and no pants, like regularly. But then when he gets out of the shower, he wears a towel but no shirt.
That is a good
point. We've seen all of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never thought of that. That's a really good point.
Oh, what was that?
That's an excellent point. Ducks shouldn't be taking showers anyway because they have water-resistant oil on their feathers.
Oh, yeah. They're waterproof. Nobody's interested in your reality, kid. No.
Well, yeah, there's always the Goofy and, what is it, the Pluto, I think it is? Goofy and Pluto.
Yeah.
It's like they're both dogs, but one of them is like a dog and the other one's like a person dog.
Yeah, that is confusing.
And then what the hell is Pluto? Like, is he a dog, a cat, like a hyena? I don't get it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Goofy, he's right? a dog.
Yeah, you mean Goofy, right? You don't mean Pluto. You mean Goofy, right? Goofy's the one. If I remember Stand By Me correctly, that's the one where the confusion is all about.
Yeah, no, but also Pluto. Like, that dude looks like he might be a dog.
Oh, Pluto. I thought you said Pluto, like, like a planet. You say Pluto with a B?
I said both. Yeah, I said
yeah.
And then there's also Pluto, who kind of looks like he might be a dog as well.
I think Pluto's the same as whatever the fuck Goofy is.
Yeah.
Just fatter.
Yeah, you got all three.
Maybe they were all doing acid when they came up with these characters, and so they didn't really care.
Right? Yeah. Let the kids figure it out. Who cares? Just draw some weird shit.
You know what I never understood, and this has always bothered me ever since I was a kid and first saw the movie in the movie theater. If the Little Mermaid can write, why doesn't she just write a note to the prince?
When she can't talk. Yeah.
Like,
that never occurred to me. That's a good
I was always like, bitch, you're obviously literate. What the fuck?
Right. Just never occurred to her. You would be great at CinemaSins.
Just one of those things. I'm like, that's really annoying. Or like, one of the things that always bothered me, and I know it's a cartoon and it shouldn't bother me, but it's the way the house in The Simpsons would constantly change layout on the second floor.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it drove me fucking bananas as a kid.
But that room wasn't even noticed last time I watched.
Okay, but like, all right, in the episode where it's like the rear window, Bart's window is where Homer and Marge's bedroom should be. And like I felt like I was the only one that noticed that, but that's how he like PC Flanders till his life or whatever.
I didn't notice it. I'll tell you that.
No, but now that you're talking about it, it makes sense. I just never noticed it.
Exactly. You're like, this is fucking weird. And the town changes. Like everything changes location in the town, and it's like I get it. It's a cartoon, and I should let it go. But this is like the weird autist in me. I will catch a continuity error almost instantaneously. I can't help myself.
Yeah. That's why
I'm so glad I'm using my powers.
I get that a little bit. It's the reason I couldn't stand the second and the third Matrix movies, because there's a lot of continuity issues, dude. Like the first one I like, but yeah, it's just got too complicated and there's too many things that are kind of incompatible.
Yeah.
Anyways, although it is kind of funny how The Simpsons makes fun of, because you're not technically supposed to know what state it is. And there was one episode where they're like saying, "And look, you can see the states that border us," and it's like there's Nevada, Pennsylvania, Montana, and that's like states that are nowhere near each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the thing I never get is superhero movies and supervillain movies. How is it nobody can fucking shoot? Like, because a lot of those people ain't bulletproof. But sooner or later somebody's going to be like, you know what? I really don't like the Joker, and I bet I could shoot him in the head, and he would stop killing people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like the Riddler, or the Penguin, or Batman. Like, I'm just really tired of all these people fucking sitting there all the time.
I'm guessing it would make for a short movie in that case. That's probably why it doesn't happen.
Or they attack a gang, and the gang all has sticks. And you're like, what fucking gang is this? Like, the worst gang ever? Did he pick on, like, the gang of people that just aren't terribly bright? I mean...
Yeah.
I don't know. I never understood the, like, anti-gun thing that superheroes have. Like, yeah, you have super strength and stuff, but just shoot him.
Yep.
And why don't the cops in those movies ever shoot him either?
That's what I'm saying. Like, the cops are, like, some citizen, like, group or, like, gang members or crime syndicate. Like, they all have guns.
Like, you're right there, and he's right there. Just kill that guy.
Exactly.
What's the problem?
It's like the Joker's, like, holding people hostage. You get all these cops out there, and it's like, what, you got no snipers? Because generally that's what happens, is the sniper just takes him out.
Right.
That doesn't work like that in Gotham.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Like, and in all the movies, like, Batman be blowing stuff up all over the city, like with missiles or bullets or something, or like they'll just take out like bridges and stuff. Like, what? How does anybody like this dude at the end of the movie? I don't get it.
Me neither, because like now you can't go to work because fucking bridge is out. Great, thanks, Batman.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, there would be. Yeah, in real life, there would definitely be groups complaining about, and bringing up the stats of how much property damage Batman does.
That would be like The Incredibles.
Oh yeah, that is basically the plot of The Incredibles. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Jesus.
You guys suck. That's
Totally
the plot
unoriginal.
of The Incredibles. You guys suck.
Supposedly, a sequel's coming out on that. Finally, they're coming out with The Incredibles 2.
Oh, cool! I love that movie.
Oh yeah. I'm wondering how much older everybody's going to be. Like, that's the part that I'm waiting to see. Is it still going to be like a little kid and like a teen girl and then like mom and dad, or is it going to be like young adults and like their parents?
My concern is for baby Jack in this situation because he had all the powers.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, at the very end of that little special part on the DVD.
Well, I mean, like when he's with the babysitter and he's like, he can fly, he can go through walls, he can disappear, he can turn to lead.
There's a normal
burst into
babysitter.
flame. Like,
I like how she
what can't he?
like that.
Oh, laser eyes. Like, what can't that little fucker do? Like, I seriously want to see him as an awkward teen.
Yeah, my favorite was when he would just like turn into like living fire, and she just like hit him with the fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
She was half asleep, but she just did sleep.
Oh, parenting. Sometimes I swear to God, it feels like that. You're like, how did you do this? Like, not, I can't believe you made such a mess. It's just like, I'm trying to work out how this is actually possible.
Damn.
Like
you only
my
had
son.
3 Cheerios. Where did the rest of these come from?
Exactly.
You're almost like, I want to be mad, but I'm almost kind of too impressed. Like, how the fuck?
Exactly.
And how is there peanut butter in the wall outlet? You didn't have peanut butter.
Where did it come from? There's not even peanut butter in the house. Like, you're magic. My oldest son, when he was a baby, when he was learning to crawl, so what he would do is like just hold his bottle in his teeth and crawl around and take it with him. But he would always like stick cars in his diaper. So every time he changed his diaper, like 20 Hot Wheels fall out. And I'm like, how the fuck did you do that?
And then you got to clean the Hot Wheels because that ain't good.
Yeah.
Dishwasher.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, that's impossible to try to clean out all those fucking nooks and crannies, dude. Yeah.
Yep. Sanitize in the dishwasher. That's all you can do.
That works.
That's what I do with all the baby toys. It's really easy. I mean, you know, you're doing like 4 loads of dishes with these kids anyway, so might as well have one on a Saturday afternoon. That's just everything.
You got to put them on like prison rations or something, man. 4 loads of dishes. That's a lot.
5, 6 kids, and they have, well, I mean, during the summer, 6 kids, 3 meals, 2 snacks.
That's up pretty quick.
You let them have snacks. You're way too good. You're too
And when I got 2 teenagers, like, holy shit. I don't remember eating that much when I was a teenager. I'm sure I did, but oh my God, $300 worth of groceries is like gone the next day. I'm like, there was food in here. I swear to God, I did not dream this.
Yeah, my son's at that age, like 13. Like, he's kind of going through a growth spurt, and holy shit, yeah, he's eating like crazy, man. Yeah. Although I remember when I was thinking like when I was in school, like 16, 17, because we had like off-campus lunch or whatever.
Sorry.
No worries. Yeah, we would have like the off-campus lunch, and I would go to lunch and I would eat like we'd go to like Wendy's and I would eat like 3 double stacks and a fucking large jumbo French fries and a soda, and wolf that down like no fucking problem. And like I wasn't fat at all until I got to fucking like my mid-20s, like until I got to like starting to have back problems and shit. I wasn't fat at all, and I would eat like that much shit like just for lunch.
Wow, I don't think I ever got that. I mean, I'm sure I ate a lot when I was in high school, but that was a lot.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I 3 chicken tenders, and I'm like, I'm full, but I'm also a teeny tiny person, so like, there's not really any comparison.
Yeah, no, my son will kill like an entire like well, not a DiGiorno's one, but like like the Red Baron pizzas.
Mm-hmm.
He will eat like an entire one of those, no problem.
Oh wow!
By himself?
Dude. Yeah.
Holy crap!
Yeah. Like not all the time, but literally he'll usually eat like at least 6 pieces of one of those. So basically, well, that would be out of 8 pieces. So like 3/4 of one to just eating an entire one.
Holy crap!
His waist, dude, he's not fat. Like he's not fat at all. But somehow he's up to like a 36 waist already. Like, I mean, I'm a pretty thick kid, or pretty thick guy, so I mean, he kind of takes after me. But I didn't have a 36 waist until I was in like 10th or 11th grade, and he's only in 8th grade.
Jeez.
And again, he's not overweight like at all.
I used to work with this one girl whose daughter was like 11 or 12, but she looked 18, 19 years old, and she was at least 5'10", 5'11". Fully
yeah,
through puberty and everything.
I remember some kids like that. Yeah, there's always a few.
I just feel sorry for kids like that, especially if you grow too fast and you get like the stretch marks on your shoulders and stuff. Like I knew a girl I was on the basketball team with that she shot up like 8 inches over the summer. It's only like 2 months, and like she had all these stretch marks like on her shoulders and down like the side of her legs. I'm like, oh my God, what happened to you? Because she looked fucked up. Poor white girls,
Wow.
they get the stretch marks and they're all red,
Yeah.
Feel sorry for y'all.
I was actually, because I ended up, I started school like right after I turned 4, like a month after I turned 4. I started kindergarten. So I was always smaller than everybody. It was basically up until, actually till high school, between junior high and high school, like that summer, I shot up like 6 inches. And I went from being smaller than everybody to being, bigger than almost everybody.
Ugh.
It's really weird.
Were you like knocking stuff over and running into shit?
No, not too bad. I played sports, so that probably helped me kind of grow into it a little. Because I would have been playing baseball that summer, I'm sure. So that's probably the only kind of saving grace I had that helped me to not be that awkward. But yeah, still a little bit, but not horribly bad.
I've just noticed my son grew a good bit this summer and keeps hitting his head on stuff. Or accidentally knocking things off of his nightstand and stuff like that. He's like, I don't know why I keep doing this. I'm like, I'm so sorry, sweetie, but you're growing.
Like, no, actually, that's not true. I actually would like, usually when I would do something, it would like break something. I mean, my bones, not breaking like property. I would usually end up with like a broken leg or not a broken leg, but broken wrist, that kind of shit. So yeah, it didn't happen often, but when it did, I really made it count.
Good to know.
I've never broken a bone.
Like I have a huge scar, like right underneath my my right knee, where I had fallen and kind of caught the edge of like just the edge of like a concrete thing, and it cut all the way down to my bone through muscle and everything. Ooh. Yeah, I actually had to have a cast, like a half cast. Because it was right where the would stretch when I would bend my knee. So I had to have a cast like on the down the back to keep me from bending my knee. Yeah, actually that was 6th grade, so that was a while back. But yeah, I actually still have one. I have a scar right on the bridge of my nose because like I was at my grandparents' house and they had like this garden that had like a metal fence around it, and I used to roll down the hill like it was kind of at the bottom of the hill, and I would roll down the hill like log roll. And one time I hit that fucking thing, bam, and I had to have stitches right across the bridge of my nose. I still have one there. I got like a little scar on my forehead. One time I had...
I'm just thinking every time your nose itches, like you'd be like,
Yeah. Or it was... one time I was trying to stop my sister from coming out. I was at my grandparents' house again. Really bad luck there, come to think of it. But they had like one of those screen doors that had like 2 sections of like screen, and in the middle there was like a glass piece, and I was kind of like messing with her, and I was pushing on the glass piece to keep her from coming out, and the glass shatters and fucking cuts open my hand. I have a bunch of fucking glass in my hand. So yeah, got a nice little scar going up the pinky on my right hand from that. Good times. So like I said, it didn't really happen that often, but yeah, when it did, it was always something bad. Yeah. Or what was the other one? Oh, we used to take the tops from our toy box and then ride it down the stairs, like sledding almost or whatever. And then right at the landing, there was basically this huge oak door that we had in our old house there in New York. And yeah, I broke my foot doing that with me and my brother. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Okay, enough about me. Dominating the conversation again.
No, you're fine. It's interesting.
What else?
I don't know. What do you guys want to talk about?
All right. Stabby? You want to talk about how the FBI guy doesn't want to investigate Hillary because there's no public interest in it?
Oh, yeah. That one's great.
Yeah.
Who said that?
Was it the director? The FBI director?
The new FBI director, Mueller.
Yeah,
Oh,
Mueller
shit.
said that, yeah. He said that there's no public interest in it, so that's why they're not going to investigate it anymore.
They'll fucking mutiny again. The last time they wouldn't investigate her shit, almost their entire DC office was like, fuck it, we're out of here.
Yeah.
You sure you want to pick that fucking fight now? Like, no.
Yeah, and just to say that there's no public interest, like, that's kind of a big chunk of why Trump got elected and she didn't.
Well, there's also evidence now that what's his name, Comey had already been writing up press releases clearing Hillary Clinton prior to the investigation being like started.
Oh wow.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, so I mean that's like,
yeah, that's true. I wish that was I wish that was surprising.
You wish it was a revelation.
Right.
So that's pretty fucking creepy and gross. And so, you know, you wonder like really what Trump should have done when he got in. As soon as he got into office, the first thing he should have done was fired like probably the top 3 levels of management at the FBI, because those are probably all political folks, and just appointed all new people that were going to actually do their job. You know,
I've been kind of watching this, like who he's keeping and who he's firing, and like I think that like Steve Bannon leaving, I think he was always going to leave.
Yeah, well, he already said prior to being chosen for the cabinet, Steve Bannon said he would only stay for 6 months. But he stayed longer than he had already planned on.
And then Gorka left, and I think that was planned as well. But I think it's almost like he goes in with these hyper-political, seemingly very polarizing people, and then they're like throwaways, basically. They weren't going to stay anyway. But you have them hang around until the other side's like, we're not going to work with you unless you get rid of, you know, this guy, and that guy was leaving anyway. So he's like, oh, well,
it's almost like he's doing it to appear conciliatory almost. You know what I mean? Like I think he's a lot more calculating than people realize with Trump. So, you know, like if you let these people go, it looks like you're making a concession. Maybe. Also, I don't know, dude.
It's probably until he can find people who are more in the system, as in they know the ins and outs of the system a little better and how to manipulate it more, but are not part of like the deep state kind of thing. So it's like, I'm going to have these people that I know are loyal to me. They're very like polarizing, and people will be willing to make deals based on if I get rid of this guy or that guy. But they already know it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like it makes him appear like he's and
then I've
making
got
concessions.
I can look for people to replace them that will actually do what I tell them.
You need, yeah.
I still follow Sean Spicer on Twitter though, because he's fucking hilarious.
Fucking like Dippin' Dots or something.
Do what?
There's one of the people that Trump's got who just hates Dippin' Dots. Like
Dippin' Dots suck. Okay. They get stuck to the spoon, and you can't get it off the spoon, so you just have to let it fucking melt.
But I remember like I almost tweeting about that a while ago, like a few years ago, and like some of the Democrats dredged it up. Like with this one,
really?
Dippin' Dots.
Because he had one? Was it multiple ones? Like he was obsessed. They were obsessed with it, or
talking about shutting them down, like they were evil.
Wow.
Like I don't like Dippin' Dots, but like Dippin' Dots are evil and they should be shut down.
You're fucking evil. You eat it with the spoon, right? Don't eat Dippin' Dots with the metal spoon. That's my first word of advice. Because the first few bites are fine, but then you get the spoon wet, and then you stick it in the Dippin' Dot, and then they get like frozen to the spoon.
Flash frozen.
So you can't get it up. Yes, it's so frustrating. It's like
you're supposed to use a
sent from hell. But yeah, that's true. I could have just done that, and it would have been a lot easier for me.
Sorry to take the rage away from you, but yeah.
Get some ice cream.
But like, I really understand his frustration. And it's 120 degrees outside, and you want some fucking Dippin' Dots, and the shit is stuck to the goddamn spoon.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It tastes really good, though. God damn it! That's the problem. Keeps you coming back and trying again.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
Yeah. You know what? That guy's fucking right. They are evil.
I've never had Dippin' Dots, so I don't know.
And then if they do like melt a little bit, they melt too much. Like they're just like ice cream soup now.
Yeah, as soon as it gets melted, it's like a chain reaction. It's just done.
I hate it.
I've never had them, so this is all news to me. This is all new information.
Never had Dippin' Dots?
Nope.
Really? Have you never been to what is it? One of the movie theater, or I don't know if it's all of them, but one of the movie theater chains carries Dippin' Dots like in a vending machine. I think it's got to be Harkins because it's here.
No, we don't have that theater chain here.
Mm-hmm.
Different states, remember?
Yeah, Harkins in California. There's got to be Harkins in California.
Well, there might be maybe in like Southern California, but there aren't.
Yeah, I think there is.
I want to say it's like Pacific.
I don't know.
Like there's a couple.
I think it is Harkins, but it's not. Harkins owns a different chain too.
Yeah. Yeah, but I know at least the one here. That's the only one that I've noticed. They actually have the fucking Dippin' Dots vending machine in it. It's pretty crazy. And they give you plastic spoons, so it works out pretty well.
See, that's how you're supposed to serve Dippin' Dots. Like, this is gonna be a thing. God damn it! Never dipping dots with a metal spoon. Ever.
They should really put a warning on the label, dude. Fucking assholes.
They should.
Hashtag Dippin' Dot Devil.
Oh God.
Like
now I get to change my name on Twitter again.
Yeah.
Did Stargon get banned altogether now at this point?
Oh yeah, he's like perma-banned. Like he cannot have, which I don't understand. Okay, he was making fun of the alt-right, which you would think Twitter would be like fine with, because they're certainly fine with the alt-right or the, what do you call them? It's like the SJWs or whatever. Calling everybody Nazis and racists and reporting you for calling them fucktarded and stuff like that. But he wasn't even doing anything. He was just arguing with them. He didn't even send porn this time. That's the thing. Like, he's done way worse shit.
He didn't.
Yeah, the interracial gay porn, that was fucking hilarious, dude. I kind of get why they had to suspend him. God damn, that's fucking funny.
Yeah, but you know the dude who issued that suspension was like, that's fucking hilarious. I hate doing this.
Right.
Twitter just needs to hire more shit posters, and then they'll understand. Or maybe like somebody who's of the times, at least in part, so they understand like what a shit post is, what humor is, what a joke is.
Well, we're in the middle of a moral panic right now, so it's going to be a few years until that passes.
We already did this in the 80s. They kept telling me Centipede was going to infect me with demons, okay? That is what I heard in the 80s. The Atari was called the Tabernacle of the Devil.
Yeah, the Satanic Family. It's pretty funny.
I don't want to do this again.
God. It's going to keep happening. It's cyclical, man. It's going to keep swinging back and forth. It's just going to be different people being outraged over different shit.
But man, I'm going to tell you, this time is worse, though.
Yeah, this is fucking weird.
Yeah. Well, we had the one in the 90s that tried to start, like the late 90s, early 2000s, where it was like the moral panic was, they attempted to do it, and it was all the PC stuff, but it just failed.
Yeah, nobody
sort of got it out. And then like a decade later, it's suddenly back in strength. And it's like...
Well, it kind of went underground, I think. And it kind of infested the fucking academia and all that shit, and kind of just festered there and kind of just came back with a force, dude.
That must be what happened. They just were like, well, we didn't succeed in what we were aiming for, so now let's just...
Yeah, they were more strategic about it, because they know if you go after political spots or government spots, and especially the colleges, you get those, you're going to be way more influential and get a lot more bang for your buck or whatever if you're in those positions of influence.
Yeah, but God, man, like...
Yeah, it's fucking horrible, dude.
We already did
That's ridiculous,
this, man. Like...
The part that I don't get is the refusal to look at reality. Just you look at what's happening.
If I play Andromeda backwards, is it going to tell me to kill my family?
Yeah, really. It's just like what's happened in Sweden and in the UK and all, in Italy and stuff, and they keep refusing to look at like the riots, the rapes, the incredible amount of crimes from bringing over people because of PC reasons.
Yeah, that's what I really.
Reality of it. Like, no, you can't bring those people over because they're horrible people. Like,
I do not understand that. Just denial of reality, you know.
It's like the wolf isn't even wearing sheep's clothing. It's like you just keep trying to like pretend it's a sheep.
Right. Yeah, it's not even trying anymore. It's just like, hey, we can do this, and nobody's gonna say anything.
Yeah, it's like other sheep are like, take my fur as it's being eaten. Like, no, take my fur, put it on.
Yeah, I really wonder how, dude. This is what I like to come up with weird, kind of out there conspiracy theories. Back when you remember the shooting in Canada where it was like the white guy that shot up the mosque, or what? Was it a mosque?
Yeah, it was some like Quebecois nationalist or something.
Yeah, like at first they said there was 2 shooters, right? Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I really wonder if they would do something like the other guy's a Muslim, so he was actually in on it, but we're going to actually let him go because we don't want the Muslims to look bad, or we don't want, you know what I'm saying? Like, I doubt that's what happened, but it's possible that they actually would let somebody go just to keep their pro-Muslim outlook.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
like I think Trudeau is that fucking crazy, dude. But
he's dumb and he fucked up, okay, because he's like, yay Islam. And he's wearing his little Islam socks with his like gay pride heart, face paint. So he's basically just a walking contradiction and a meme at this point.
Yeah.
He dug his hole too deep. Like, he had his like cross-country tour or whatever that he was going to do, and they canceled it because basically all of Canada fucking hates him. Like, okay. I can understand why Alberta does. Like, because that's pretty much the only viable territory or province. So their taxes pay for almost everything in the country, like all of the services and shit. So they're getting basically vacuumed out to support all of these, refugees and immigrants and shit. And they're not getting anything back from it, except, when one of them commits a crime, they don't get tried or held for it.
Yeah, see, that's why I think that's possible. That I should not think that's possible, but I do. Again, I don't think necessarily that actually happened, but Trudeau is such a fucking, again, you said, like, he kind of doubled down, dug too deep, and now that would make him look so bad that a Muslim actually attacked a mosque that I think he would actually be willing to let someone like that go just so it didn't make him look bad.
It's a sign of how sick the system is that it's plausible.
Yeah, not likely, but again, it could have happened. And that's what's fucking scary.
Yeah, but
I could see that happening, I should say. And I shouldn't be, I guess it bugs me that I think that's even possible. Because he's so cucked out or whatever.
I think totally 100% a Muslim could attack a mosque, and somehow he and his spin doctors would find a way to make that guy be a white nationalist.
An Asian nationalist.
No, you can't have that. You can have an Asian nationalist, and they can be a violent nationalist if they want, which can't be as a white nationalist. So all evil people are white nationalists. So they would have to turn this person somehow into a white nationalist or a white nationalist sympathizer.
Schizophrenic.
Yeah. That I think you're referring to the fact that they don't say Middle Eastern anymore. They say Asian, like over in Europe and shit.
Well, and then there's the whole thing about there's all these people that are Asian now that they're calling like white supremacists and racists.
Yeah.
If they don't agree.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm sure that's all they would do. They'd just be like an Asian man who's a white supremacist, just shot up a mosque.
Right.
That'd be the way they go. Don't even take that much of a spin.
Yeah. But again, it is encouraging that it does seem to be, the tide definitely seems to be turning. Yeah. I'm actually surprised it's happening this quick, though, that you're actually hearing Trevor Noah, of all people, say shit like, something bad about Antifa or the L'Oreal thing. Because that shit wasn't happening, even when they were saying crazy shit, the guy in Tampa Bay or whatever, the university, that shit wasn't happening. Very recently, that shit was not happening where they were getting fired for that shit.
That's true. But I'm still fucking Joe's Morning Joe. Like, you gotta watch that clip. It's so worth your 7 minutes. Because she's trying so hard to make him stop talking shit about Antifa. And he's like, fuck you, I am finishing this rant. And he just keeps going. And I'm like, yes, Joe, preach the good word, brother.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
Antifa started attacking reporters, too. So I think that's why they're turning.
That's fine. I mean,
fine why you were beating up Republicans, but now that you're beating up reporters, we're gonna stand against you.
Yeah, actually, even here in Phoenix, there was a New Times one, and New Times is fucking pretty far left. It was a New Times reporter, and they were fucking talking shit to him. You know, and he was just like, "No, I'm going to keep filming." And he's like, "All right, well, you know, something. Yeah. I'm just saying, if you stick around, you know, something bad might happen."
I think Razorfist described the New Times as well as anyone could. It's a far left magazine that they give away for free, and you read it, and you still feel ripped off.
Fucking love Razorfist, dude.
But I've never heard such an accurate description of the New Times.
That is perfect, dude.
I don't know why people are surprised. Like, Antifa literally spray paints shit like Democrats get the bullet too, liberals get the bullet too, like everywhere they go. So why are they surprised that like Antifa is hostile towards them as well? I don't.
Yeah, I don't understand why they're defending it, dude. It's shocking.
Yeah. They've been announcing that they don't like you either. They're communists. They're
even
absolutely out of their minds.
Yeah, even at the inauguration thing when they fucking went crazy and were taking out fucking limos and all that shit, they basically said we would be doing this if Hillary got elected. They, you know, basically a lot of them said that.
But I love that they burnt out the limo that belonged to an immigrant. He was also a Muslim. Like, oh God.
Perfect. How many have we lost?
Yeah.
How many trash cans have we lost to Antifa? It's a lot.
Trash lives matter.
They really don't like trash cans.
He hates the cans.
Yeah.
Get away from the cans.
There's nothing more fascist than a trash can, dude.
At some point, Oscar the Grouch molested a lot of Antifa. And so just they remember that situation in the alley with the trash can and the guy that came out of the trash can. So now they're just taking him out. Speaking over and over in the streets.
I love how they talk about free speech and not. I don't know, man. I think leftists in general are just really, they fucking love irony so much that they have to do shit like shut down a free speech rally.
Yeah.
They're just really big fans of irony, dude.
In the name of free speech. Well, what's her name? The lady from Banff who's connected to the mayor, the little Asian.
That Falarka. It's the like midgety Asian lady.
She was on an interview where she was like, literally describing her own group word for word. Just the most perfect description of Antifa and fascism, which is Antifa. And the entire time, the other guys just looking at her like, do you just not understand how ridiculous you sound? Like, you're describing Antifa, you're not describing anybody else.
God damn, dude.
That shit's funny.
Yeah,
that just makes it even funnier.
What was her description of fascism? It was so bizarre. It bore no resemblance whatsoever to the like reality of what fascism is. It was just this long, convoluted description of like, essentially people that don't agree with her.
Yeah, it's fucking amazing.
I've noticed. I don't think it's just because like I'm sorry. Hobbyists, man. That's what happens when you live up here, man. There are 9 airports in the Phoenix metro area.
Damn.
I know. Like a fucking constant thing. Anyway, I don't think it's just reporters now because they're actually like prosecuting chicks for fake rape claims, which I'm so glad to see finally fucking happening.
Yes. Yeah.
Probably Antifa pushing into areas where they're not and social justice warriors trying to push into conservative areas where it's just not going to work out for them. Because like that stuff flies in some areas, but there's a lot of areas in the country still where you're not going to get away with that kind of lying.
Yeah, Phoenix.
Well, like it's even happening in California, which really surprised me actually.
That's shocking.
But yeah, but like there's a chick who's being prosecuted for sexually assaulting a guy on campus, and I'm like,
wow,
what the fuck is happening here? Like, is due process back? Are we doing that again?
She identified as male.
Well, they're like serving jail time and having to pay damages and stuff. So I mean, they're actually, huh?
I said, finally.
Yeah, I'm like, fucking about goddamn time. Like, you would never be able to get away with rape hoaxing people this much. Like, it has a lot to do with the Dear Colleague letter, which a lot of people don't know about and never heard about. But it was basically, you're going to support feminist causes, and you are going to do the listen and believe thing, or we are going to cut federal funding from you.
Yeah.
So Betsy DeVos gets into office, and she has a meeting with men's rights activists about the rape hoax epidemic, because it's not a rape epidemic, it's a fucking rape hoax epidemic. And she has this conversation with these guys who've had their lives completely annihilated by this shit. And so she's sympathetic. So what do the colleges do? Oh, thank God. So now they're going to start prosecuting. They're going to stop throwing guys out of college when they get accused of shit.
Well,
because they're able to turn things on their head.
It's also the lawsuits that are being filed against the schools by the kids that get thrown out because it's not legal. They're not legal trials.
They're not giving due process. Yeah.
Well, the other thing is colleges have no business conducting trials of any kind. They're not a court of law. They're not legally.
Well, I mean, they can have conduct rules, and like that's fine. Okay,
well,
that's fine.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying they.
But if a sexual assault, they're not calling it a trial. It's a conduct review. That's how they're getting around it.
Oh no, they've lost lawsuits for it though.
Yeah, they're going to because they don't have any proof that the accused actually did what he's accused of.
Well, the thing is, the minute you start doing that and you refuse to allow, because there's basic human right or basic constitutional rights. You have the right to face your accuser. You have the right to present a case. You have a right to review your own evidence that's being held against you, and enter in any evidence you feel is going to exonerate you.
Yeah, in a court of law. Yeah. This is a court of the diversity officer.
Well, and then what's turning out to be the case is
the Title IX compliance, whatever.
It doesn't matter what the college wants to do. If they're going to have a trial, they have to do it correctly, and they have to give you all those rights.
Yeah.
And that's what's costing them in the lawsuits. They're refusing to do it. It's like YouTube is open for a huge fraud suit. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet, in all honesty, in regards to the copyright strikes. YouTube is no legal authority. The concept that just because someone says so, they can give money from advertisers that are earned on a video to somebody else without any actual evidence is completely illegal. It's complete fraud.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy that they didn't just hold it somewhere at the instead of giving it to the other person.
They're holding it now.
Yeah, but I mean, they have lawyers. I'm fairly certain they should have lawyers that should know better than to tell them to do shit like that.
It was insane. I never could understand how that worked and why none of the YouTubers got together and said, "Hey, we have a legal right to due process in a trial, and these people who are making these copyright claims are required by law because we're considered innocent until proven guilty. They have to go through a court of law to take any money from us." And it's like
that's a fair point. Yeah.
It's completely fraud. It's completely fraud. The minute that YouTube offered to pay people, regardless of what their contract said, you also get certain rights based on the Constitution and based on the laws of how our business is regulated. I mean, it's like
interesting.
Another way to look at it would be like you start manufacturing these cars and you send them out to a dealership, and somebody else goes to the dealership and says, "Hey, that's my car you're selling. You're gonna have to give me the money." They're lying to you. You know, it's like you can't do that. The dealership can't turn around and then hand that other group money. Like that's not legal. It has to be done through the court system. So this whole system is gonna explode at some point.
Yeah, I'm surprised they wouldn't just hold it in escrow or whatever until it's decided. You know, and they're just giving it to the other person because they said so.
Yep. Especially if it's a substantial amount, because a lot of times they like to hit bigger channels.
Right.
Because they get pissed and they just want to fuck with them.
Well, and then also the ones where they claim copyrights and put ads on videos that didn't have ads. Like, we're just going to monetize your stuff and it's going to go to us, but you're not in trouble, so don't worry. It's like, yeah, but you've just committed fraud on a huge scale. Like, you can't.
Here's one of the things that I don't understand. Like, this happens to me a lot. I'll have a video demonetized, but it will still run ads.
Yeah, I wondered about that, man. Because it seemed, I was like, I guarantee you those motherfuckers are pulling some shit.
Yeah,
where, there's still ads.
They're getting money for it. You were, you produced the product, and they have an obligation to pay you if they're making money off of the product you produced for them. And it means money. Like, that's the whole basic contract right there.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out is that because they do that to everybody. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Is that somehow actionable? Because you're getting, like, you make a contract with YouTube that you will produce content, you will allow ads on here for a certain, CPM, which is the cost per mil, or, per every 1,000 views. And the CPM used to be like, I don't know, like $12 or something. So you can make pretty, not great money, but like enough to get like a Starbucks every other day or something,
Yeah.
Now it's like 4 cents every 1,000 views.
Well, I mean, they can the amount
it's bad. But it also depends on like what the advertiser's contract is, and what like the deal that they worked out for their CPM with YouTube. So that depends also. And then you have the option of also doing like a MCN, a multi-channel network, where they will run ads regardless on your channel. So like you can't turn off monetization then, which is kind of a drag if you're doing like serious shit.
Yeah.
You can't like turn it off. You don't have that option. So that kind of sucks a little bit, but at the same time, it's out of your hands. So what are you going to do? But when they run
a third-party contract, so.
Yeah, but when they run ads on a channel and demonetize that video, but there's still ads every time you click on it, to me that's a breach of the contract that you've agreed to.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah. I kind of figured that was going on, and there's no way they can't fucking get busted for that, man. I don't see any way.
How many people have the money to take on YouTube? Because now YouTube has Google's pocket. So if you're going to go after YouTube, it's going to be Google money protecting the thing, because you can also dip into Google's pocket because YouTube is owned by them now.
Yeah.
It would almost take like a shitload of creators banding together, like a class action suit.
That's what I'm saying. It would have to be a tort case.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it would have to be a class action suit, but they need to fire Susan Wojcicki. I mean, they really do. She is just awful at her job. The ideas that she's, implementing and signing off on are horrible ideas that make it difficult for you to use YouTube as just a consumer.
Just the new layout is awful enough.
Yeah. Right. But then, like, the unsubscribe bug that they keep saying it doesn't exist, like, it fucking exists when thousands of people tweet at you. There's a problem.
The number of channels I'm subbed to that I have, I don't know why you have to turn on notifications, but I have notifications turned on that I won't find out they're live for 45 minutes until, at least 45 minutes after they've gone live.
Yeah, mine doesn't tell me until the stream ends and it's posted for replay.
Yeah, I get that too sometimes. It's like, that's not the way the system's supposed to work. And it's always political stuff.
Yeah, mine,
it's like certain channels.
I just never get the notification for, even though I have the little bell clicked and everything, that I will just never get it. And then, unless I actually go through my specific, page of my subscription videos, I won't even know are there. So there's a lot of times I don't get even any notification at all on those.
Yeah, exactly. It's just,
yeah, like I said, it's in my little feed, my page feed, whatever the fuck you call that.
yeah, it's a mess. It's gonna come apart. I mean, it can't go on like that forever. It's gonna come apart, and another thing will come to take its place. You know.
Yeah, and that's the problem that they're having.
I'd like to see. Yeah, I'd like to see VidMe improve. That would be nice.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
really hard to search. Like the search thing is not all that great, and it's just. I'd like to see it improve, and that would be great.
If PewDiePie and a couple of other big people were to go to one of these other hosting companies like VidMe or whatever, any of them, and just be like, hey, look, we want to take our business here, and we bring a huge audience. And you might not at first be able to compete with YouTube. If you're willing to just not censor things, you'll do great.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
that's the reason why fucking Minds is gonna take. You know, it's gonna eventually replace like Facebook for sure.
Yeah,
fucking bullshit.
Facebook replaced MySpace. It's, you know, that's just the way it works.
Yeah, you know, people are going to get full. I think a vast majority of people, and maybe I'm too optimistic, but I think a vast majority of people actually feel strongly in favor of free speech.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it's very many people. It's, you know, maybe a bunch of young fucking punks or whatever, and then a few scattered people. But I think a huge segment of the population believes pretty strongly in how important free speech is.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason it's the first right.
Right. Yeah. And they don't get that. And they still try to throw that hate speech out. Like, no, dude, unless it's like a specific incitement to violence, there's no such thing as fucking hate speech.
And we already have laws for that. So
yeah, you wouldn't need the free speech laws if it was only fucking happy nicey shit. You know?
Well, yeah, because happy nicey shit doesn't need protection.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so yeah, you should be willing, and this was said way back when all this shit was, you know, by many people, you know, hundreds of years ago or whatever, that yeah, you should be defending the person you fucking hate the most. You should be defending their right to free speech stronger than anybody. You know, and that's kind of the ideals I think a lot of us grew up with, is understanding that. You know, again, unless it's an actual incitement to violence, people should be able to say whatever the fuck they want. And again, they're not gonna be a lot of people following, you know, a white supremacist movement or, you know, any of those fucking hate groups.
Yeah, if you just ignore these groups, then they just fizzle out.
Mm-hmm.
If you suppress them, they just grow.
Because their ideas are ridiculous. Like the people like Richard Spencer that really think they're going to pull it off in some nonviolent way, which I honestly, I know they espouse it, but I refuse to think that they actually believe that is going to work. You know, I think it's kind of a screen, and they want it to get violent. You know, they know it has to get violent at some point. But anyways, whatever. It's their right to fucking say whatever the fuck they want. I just don't think it's ever, you know, I don't understand why they're afraid of that.
Yeah, you have the right to say what you want, and everybody else has the right to not fucking listen to you.
Yeah, to say that's fucking stupid. That'll, for one thing, even if I believed in this white supremacy shit, there's no way that your fucking ideas are gonna work. You know?
Well, and it's
non-violent, dude. You're gonna somehow get a white ethno-state non-violently.
Yeah. Well, the weird
I don't know. I don't think they believe that. I think they know it has to get. They know it would have to get violent to actually happen.
Well, I was just saying, the weird thing to me is it's really tough to tell how many of the people are legitimately like white pride, white racist people, and how many of them are just like, it's the backlash of like this sort of like everybody white is thing, and it's just people who are like, no, I can be proud to be a white person. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right. That's the crazy shit.
But why are you proud of anything that you didn't do?
Yeah. That's
I think that's just in response to being told.
Well, I think it's
bad because of something that they didn't do. You know what I mean? Like it's just like a backlash.
Yeah, I think it is.
That's the thing is, like, for quite a while, when I would hear this shit about kill all white men and shit, I thought it was fucking hilarious. But then it got to the point where it was like, holy shit, this is a lot more prevalent than I thought, and like I kind of started getting mad. You know,
like
now
the Poe or no. That was my response to it. Like, oh, this has got to be a Poe, right?
Yeah, like, that's funny.
That's some dumbass shit, and then you're like, oh, they mean it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
oh, it's bad.
like holy shit, these fucking idiots are serious. Wow. But yeah, anyways, it at least looks like the fucking tide is turning, and you know, I think it's taken a lot more moderates like that to get fucking pissed off and finally say shit, where people, you know, the corporations, the government, whatever, is realizing that most people don't buy into that shit. Yeah. You know, vast majority of people don't buy into that fucking crazy leftist bullshit.
Because the vast majority actually live in reality and have to interact with other people. So
right.
They realize if you just treat people like people are pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, oh shit! I forgot the name of the documentary that Subby had recommended for me. The one with where the black guy had gotten a bunch of white supremacists to kind of, basically give up the robes. Like he had collected a bunch of robes.
Oh, I don't think it was me that recommended that. That must have been someone else.
No. I said Subby, Subconscious Devil.
Sorry, I thought you said Scotty. I was like, oh.
Yeah, no, it's definitely very similar. But no, he recommended it to me that when we were out hanging out on that Friday.
I don't remember. I can look it up though.
Hold on, it's got to be in my recent thing here. But yeah, it's basically all he did really is just kind of sit down with them, talk to them, get to know them, and they fucking you know, kind of turn them around just by showing them that look, all black people, you know, black people aren't whatever the fuck you think they are. You know,
like BLM.
God damn it.
That's one of the things I try to point out to people. Like, please understand that Black Lives Matter is actually a minority among black people.
Yeah.
Most black people are like, don't even come over here with that shit.
I think it was a super big step forward when Trump actually stood up and was like, no, you know what? In Charlottesville, there were two groups of people, and some of them were good, and some of them were bad, and it was all a bad situation. And there was
both sides were bad. There's no.
Yeah. And it was
like
that he actually stood
videos
up
are on
and said
YouTube.
it, instead of like telling that sort of bullshit line of like, no, it's black and white. There's just good and evil. Everything is a binary. There's no gray shades.
Right. You know? Oh, hey, real quick, Accidental Courtesy was the name.
Accidental Courtesy. Okay.
Yeah. And it's kind of crazy because like towards the end of it, they show it where he's talking to a group of black guys, and literally, like, there's two of them, and they kind of just basically blow him off. They don't listen to him at all, even though he's another black guy. He's like, yeah, you're so proud of these fucking robes. You're so proud of talking to these white guys. They just completely dismissed him, dude. And even the other guy came in and fucking tried to ream him, too. Like, I heard how you said that to them, that they were ignorant. Yeah, so it was literally like the white guys would actually had a possibility of, changing their mind. And those black guys had no intention. Like, they just fucking refused to even consider it, is basically the way it appeared.
And for the most part, that's true. I think you're right that the whole, new groundswell of I don't really want to say white pride, but sort of white protectionism. I think it is in response to the full-on, unabashed and unadulterated hatred of white men. Like, if it's so bad that minorities are like, dude, chill the fuck out. Maybe you need to chill the fuck out.
Well, I mean, it's like the men's rights movement has, sort of risen up in response as sort of a backlash against the feminists, destroy all men sort of thing, or mentality. And I think that's always going to be the case. There's always going to be at least a small group of people who are like, you know what, I'm going to go the other way. Whatever it is, whether it's good or bad, like, I'm just going to go the other way.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, but I think it's also because when you put a hyper focus on one group, you neglect the needs of another group, regardless of what it is. Like with the whole feminist thing, like my mom fell into it in the early 80s when I guess it was still late 70s, early 80s when the Wicca vagina as the source of all life shit was super popular. And I think that is really what turned me totally against it, because I'm like, you guys are really fucking weird. Like, it's just disturbing, you know, to be a kid and they're like, you should love your vagina. It's like, I don't even want to know what that word means. I'm 7.
Yeah. Oh my God. The queer kid stuff, I find that channel so goddamn disturbing. That chick is targeting 3 to 7-year-olds, dude.
Well, she's grooming them for child molesters.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying. That's why I find it fucking disturbing. Yeah.
Queer kid stuff.
I gotta go, actually, guys. I gotta like do dinner and like feed a dog.
Yeah, actually, yeah. My son's pretty independent, but I do need to go cook him dinner too. I don't want it to end. Mama's here, man. What the fuck?
I'm enjoying the hell out of the conversation. I don't want to end it. Yeah. It's like
but I didn't eat today either, so I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I am hungry.
But thank you so much for coming on, man. It's fucking awesome.
Oh, anytime. It's been a blast. I didn't know you had a channel, Stabby, so I'm glad I got to discover that and also be here on it with you.
All right. Don't say anytime, because we will invite you every goddamn Sunday and Thursday.
Well, every time that I can, I will be there. How's that?
Yeah, that's fucking awesome, dude.
Sunday streams.
All right. But no, seriously, we won't bite you too much, dude.
Sorry, I'm mopping.
But again, yeah. So thanks for joining us, anybody that was still here.
Yeah. Only William Stenchever is left at this point.
Yeah, perfect.
All right. Untitled Studios signing off.
Bye-bye.